It's going down like this, motherfucker.
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bar, bet the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need. Slap Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
Ask you something? I said, can I ask you something? Ain't I'm clean?
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
I just left a light in this bitch. I just left a light in this. I just left a light in this. I just left a light in this bitch.
Fuck up. Move the fuck back. Back the fuck up. Move the fuck back.
Joe V. He looked down, seen his feet. The nigga went berserk. Killed the monkey. Threw the bat out the window. Start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously. Can you?
You don't understand. You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am, chilling.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. Group of you together, you never can tell who's who.
I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
You're a philosopher?
Yes.
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 You're a philosopher?
Yes. I think very deeply.
In about 4
I mean TikTok. I mean TikTok. I mean TikTok. I mean TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama, and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
I don't mean to be out of line. I don't mean to be out of line.
All right, here I am back on the afternoon attack to poke the beast, because the beast does not seem to like me coming on this midday, but that's just how it is. That would fit my schedule more. And so the few, the proud, the best that get to hear me, then that is your treat. And it's my treat to try to put some new information out in the world. And I saw El Dragon, Amaroon Khan up in here. And from the many nights he hung out with me, I know he has to have.
Got to have vision.
And Hatch Dragon, thank you for joining me. And I know you've got to have.
Got to have vision.
What does it say?
Got to have vision.
That's right. What does it say? Spiral, logmatic spiral. Okay. Well, you know how I have to start the show. I always start the show with my pickleball bragging, I guess you can call it, or whatever you want to call it, my morning workout. And so this morning I started my workout. I got to the park at 8, but before I go to the park, I do my ropes, and it's a big difference. And it's funny, my first game we lost against a couple who had played a couple, and it's funny, the guy that I played with, I mean, he was a good player. They was a little warmer than we were. And then what was interesting is a dude I beat him at least 2 or 3 times today. I don't think I played with him, but I think I beat him. So we beat these 2 dudes, me and another guy. Then they went and played the couple after we beat them. They beat the couple that had beat me in the beginning. So I think today it's interesting. I played the same amount of time today. I played 2 hours, but I played almost 5 or 6 more games. I played a total of 16 games. And it's kind of hard. I either went 11 and 5, or I went 10-6. Don't quite remember. Because at one point I had won 5 or 6 in a row. Might even won 8 straight. I kind of lose count. But altogether, my workout hit some great shots. Missed some great shots. Where is it? Here we go. So let this shit go. All right, I burned 2,100 calories. My heart, I got 7,000. See, again, the steps was almost another 1,000 steps. Almost 8,000 steps. Almost 4 miles of activity, standing for equal of 8. So my heart varied. I think it only went up to 100. I think the variation was only 131 average rate. Yeah, but I got it a high of about 180 today. Looks like. Heart rate variability. Yeah, the highest I got my heart rate up today was 238. I think the highest I've got it up to was 259. So I got my heart rate up to 238. 150 exercise minutes. Well, actually, okay, it says my workout was 2 hours. So I did play a little longer today. It says my workout was 2 hours and 23 minutes. So I guess I played 23 minutes more. That makes sense to play more games. So above average cardio. And so yeah, that was, that's the fun I had today. I must say it was a windy day, so a lot of shots. The wind would try to think coming towards me. Yeah, a lot of shots flying by, dudes hitting them too hard. So the wind was a factor. Some cases we switched courts, so it was really no advantage. But good workout. Now, right now, it was ideal when I was there, but like right now, I think it says it's 84 and it's getting hot. Like it's really windy. It was windy earlier, but at one point the wind kind of died down, but it's really windy now. It's a lot hotter. So it's a lot more miserable if you had to play now. Spiral is a logarithmic, what is it? Logarithmic. Spiral is a self spiral that often appears in nature. Oh, you're talking about the golden ratio. Yeah, the golden ratio does. I think you're talking about the golden ratio. Yes. Nature in itself has several, it just shows you, like, even if you listen to sound, some of the sounds that you get is still that spiral, if you could break it down. Let me see. I got a lot to show up here. Not a whole lot, but some tripped out stuff to show you. Yes, I wanted to start off with this. And so, where's the other one? But this is kind of lengthy, but to show you, I guess it is it appears like it's, well, I'll let them tell it, but this is my first story. My first story is going to open up with U.S. Attorney charges 14 alleged Minneapolis gang members. So I'll let him tell it. And this is kind of a continuation of a story I did a couple weeks ago. So everything should be.
Noon with a major crackdown on gangs. Law enforcement officials.
Oh, she looks good again. She is stiff every day. Every day she looks good. Every single day. I love that she brings it every day to look good. Here she goes.
Say 14 gang members, some high-ranking, are now charged in federal court. Adam Duxter is live outside the federal courthouse in downtown Minneapolis. Adam, a press conference just wrapped up there. What are we learning?
Yeah, Shayla, Minnesota's U.S. attorney used the word historic multiple times to describe what was happening here today. It's part of an ongoing crackdown to target the most violent gang members. It's a partnership between both city and federal officials as well as county officials here in Hennepin County. And they say it is once again providing results that they feel are making this a safer place to live, not here just in Minneapolis, but in the entirety of Hennepin County. And again, earlier this year, it was 45 gang members arrested and charged, and today we learned 15 more gang members from here across the city of Minneapolis have been arrested, are in custody, and have been charged. And they are wanted for crimes including possession of firearms, fentanyl trafficking, and possession of machine guns. This takedown specifically targeting members of the Highs.
And let me give you a little reference. The way the melanated people live in Minneapolis on the north side is the zero, it goes from 1 all the way basically to, I think it switches to Brooklyn Center around 80 something. So I think like 78, 79th Street going north and south, going from 1 to 79th. I think 79th you might still be in the city before you go to Brooklyn Park. But so that's what they're talking about, the lowers. And the lowers is across Highway 55. You know, I'd say before Prince's sister, Tyka, she probably doesn't live there, but she lived, her White House was on 55 forever. Imagine now she got a little more of that bread. She don't have to live over there. So, but that's the ref. Now, the other thing I want you to, notice what, if they mention this is now they're going to convict people here that have the Glock with the switches on it. They're convicting them of having a machine gun. They're giving him the full crime of having him a machine gun, but I'll let them tell it. All right.
Lowe's, Bloods, and other gangs here in the city of Minneapolis. And today we heard from Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara, as well as Hennepin County Sheriff DeWanna Witt. And again, we heard as well from Minnesota's U.S. Attorney. They're joined by members of the FBI, BCA, DEF, ATF, and more. And again, they say this is a historic partnership that is targeting really the most violent gang members you will find here in the city of Minneapolis.
This is just a snapshot of the violence we are working to address. Gang members possess dangerous machine guns and ghost guns to intimidate, threaten, and kill. All of us here today are focused on enhancing public safety by taking gang members off the streets.
And this news comes almost a year to the day since U.S. Attorney Andrew Luger announced that violent crime and gang activity here in the city of Minneapolis was, quote, at an all-time high. And he and other law enforcement officials walk through the numbers that say these arrests and these big takedowns are making a difference when it.
Okay, let me say this, though. I've said this many times before, and this goes with every city. There's always a cooperation with the gangs, and when it comes to the hustling, the drug dealing, whatever, it's always city participation. And so some of these dudes they talking about they didn't took, they're taking out. It's going to be interesting going forward because some of them is probably agents. As I've said before, the switches came. Again, they stopped patrolling where the melanated people live in the city. They stopped patrolling over there. And all of a sudden, the switches is here in town. And we know from Gary Webb that the government will start giving the melanated communities guns. That's been proven time and time again. If they want people to wage war against each other, they introduce new elements. And all of a sudden, after George Floyd, these switches is more available. Now, they've always been available for machine guns. When I lived in Michigan, to get a full machine gun, you could order the part over mail in Illinois. The Sears was available. So this is again, they're going to get them for RICO as well. But Jalen and Sue, thank you for joining me. And I know for the many nights you come, you definitely have.
You got to have vision.
And DT, thank you for joining me. And I know you got to have.
You got to have vision.
California, there are signs. Let's see. Okay. Bring the noise. All right. All right, so it says, Derek 405, thank you for coming. And I know you definitely got to have.
Got to have vision.
Is that baseball? What is it, Shani? Which player? Was it Shani Otana, whatever his name? Did they give, is that what they gave him? Because they didn't trade him at the deadline. That's the only one I could really think of. I didn't see that. Baseball news. I did not see that. Oops. Let's see. Is that what they gave him? Which player? Which player did they give that money to? Yeah, I'm trying to see who do they give it to. Who did they give the money to? But that's the only player I could think that would get that kind of money. I remember they had it made of when A-Rod got that first $250 million. And so now, they're trying to give closer to $1 billion. Man, I can't find any Otana news, but that's the only one I could think of that would get that kind of money, is Otana. So, yeah, that's the only one I would think of that would get that type of bread from anybody right now. So, Don Juan, what's happening? And I know you got to have.
You got to have vision.
Yeah, Otani. Yeah, Otani. Okay, yeah. Because they were supposed to trade him and they didn't trade him. So even in California, there are signs posted by FEMA depicting California falling into the ocean, and the signs tell you should have an emergency plan. Wow, wow. Hey, and Michael C. Rappert. Wow. To Gary Webb. Michael C. Yeah, Gary Webb was and I don't even know where I got that information of Gary Webb, but I got the information. Somebody sent me the paper article. Somebody physically sent it to me, and I had that for a number of years, or a copy of it at least. And then I watched the town hall. That was real critical, where the CIA director came in and they was like, "Hey, y'all started this." And then it came further that the CIA invented crack right on UCLA's campus, because crack is not freebase. Freebase is what Whitney Houston was on, Marvin Gaye was on, Michael Richardson, the basketball player. That's what they were on. They were on freebase. They wasn't on crack. Freebase is a lot stronger. It's a lot pure. But, when the government made a cheaper way to get freebase where everybody could have it and you could sell, dope dealers could afford to sell $10, $20. That's what the average person wants. So that went right for the average person. I can see it being Braves versus Rangers. I definitely think the Braves want to go back, but that's kind of a good outlook too. Stop gambling, but I'm happy to put them out to Texas Rangers to make the playoffs. With them connected, Bush and the whole Skull and Bones. That's that. You may be very right with that. You may be very right with that. Baltimore dropped a couple. I should have made a video the way they dropped one. And then check this out. I bowled. No, I didn't bowl last night. My nephew wanted the family together. We all got together, went to the bowling alley, and all of them bowled. But I was watching the Twins play because my cable YouTube TV doesn't play Bally, and Bally is a company right now. I don't want to buy the Bally app because Bally just got saved. They just paid billions to all these baseball teams. They paid a lot of money to all these baseball teams. So Bally, unfortunately, is still doing our games. But anyway, I was watching the games in the bowling alley where I was just eating dinner and drinking beer in the bowling alley. But the Twins get three people on. Then they show a video where the dude who comes up next a week ago or a couple weeks ago, he hit a grand slam. And guess what? I go to the bathroom and I kind of forgot. I'm carefree sometimes, and I had to pee. I got up. And then I come back because the player, like the operators was giving out shoes and shit. They were noticing I was in the game. So when I come back, he's like, "Man, you missed it. You missed it. He hit a grand slam." Yeah, the guy hits a grand slam, another grand slam at home. At home. And so I was like, wow, whoa, that was quite fishy. That was quite fishy. So, Derek, I am doing good. I am doing really good. Thank you for asking. Bally was originally a sports store. Bally's used to be a sports store. Bally's used to also be gyms. Like everybody, if you was a hooper in the 90s, everybody hooped at Bally's. At least here we did. I had a gym. I had a membership to Bally's here. Like we played in all of them. We would rotate where we played, and we played. I mean, it was good ball in the 90s. The gym ball here was great. It was great. You'd have NFL players coming in. Trying to think of Big Dave. Big Dave used to play with us all the time, and then Suge Smith, his brother played at Michigan State, when they won the championship, the Smith that he was in the NBA for a little while, but the Smith that won it with Cleves, his brother played with the Vikings. So, yep, it's easy to build it, put it betting, and then I greedy and it goes downhill. Now it's just for the playoffs. Okay. I forget to bet to be, to quantify. I just forget to do it. I really forget to do it. I'm kind of lazy in that regard. But this year, maybe I'll do a little more. If I remember, won some money on the fight. Everybody wanted to bet on the fight, and everybody had Spence. I should have bet Super Sly. I should have threw him a little bet because everybody bet on Spence. That was a good lick. So I won a little money on that because everybody bet on Spence. Everybody was like looking at Spence as like he was unstoppable. What is this? Now I want to, let's see, go there. Right here. See if I can find this. Yeah, let's see if I can find this. This was interesting. Let's see. Right here. Yes, here it is. All right, this is must say this might be one of my favorite news ladies, but I'll let them tell it. This is from my home state.
Hundreds of people across West Michigan took to social media overnight.
I like her. I've shown her before, and even though she's got a weave and that little part right there shouldn't be showing, but she looks good. She looks good. I like her makeup. She looks good. All right, let them tell this story.
Reporting hearing a massive boom echoing across the sky. From Holland to Kentwood to northern Kent County, people say they heard a pounding noise that lasted for more than a minute.
Yeah, it's got a lot of traction. And just to break the news here, was it the extraterrestrials finally coming down to shake hands with the president?
Right.
Not this time, at least. It was likely a meteor, but not part of the Perseid meteor shower that everyone is looking forward to this weekend. Our Michael Martin is here to explain everything that happened.
I was sitting on my deck, as I do every night.
About 10:30 p.m. Thursday night, as West Michigan was getting ready for bed, something peculiar was streaking above.
I heard rumbling, and, I see clear skies.
It was just insanity. Like, I'm surprised the kids didn't wake up. That's how loud it was at my house.
A Ring camera on Angelica Ward's home in Kentwood picked up the billowing groans.
It almost sounded like if you were next to
Groans.
It almost sounded like
On Angelica Ward's home in Kentwood. A Ring camera on Angelica Ward's home in.
Now, if you heard the initial sound, if you hear the initial sound, it sounds like a train. It's some type of craft. It's some type of craft. See if I can.
A Ring camera on Angelica Ward's home in Kentwood picked
my house.
A Ring camera on
I'm sorry I turned it up so loud so you guys could hear that, but that's some type of craft. That is some type of craft. That is not a meteorite. So that's some type of craft came over Michigan, that part of Michigan. Some type of craft. It's obvious. You can hear the mechanical sounds.
Angelica Ward's home in Kentwood picked up the billowing groans.
It almost sounded like if you were next to the train tracks when they're going over it, bumping, or almost if a plane was going over.
For over a minute, it echoed from Holland to Hastings, northern Kent County, and down to Kentwood.
To have one so close to home that actually made that boom sound, rumble sound, was pretty surreal.
But what was it? In this video caught by Ron Earl in Wyoming, it sure looks like a meteor. Some folks online speculated it might be part of the Perseid meteor shower set to be visible this weekend.
The Perseids do not produce any sound because they totally vaporize before they get down to the lower atmosphere where the air molecules are dense enough to carry sound waves. So I don't know what they're hearing, but it's not the Perseid meteors.
Robert Lunsford with the American Meteor Society explains that people may have seen a meteor, but not from the Perseid shower.
Now, you can hear meteors if they're made out of stone and come from asteroids. Those tend to go slower than the Perseids, make it down further into the atmosphere, and they can actually produce a sonic boom.
Now, Fox 17 showed Lunsford these videos late Friday. He says they do not appear to show a meteor and says this does not sound like a meteor entering the atmosphere. So we may not know yet if it really was a meteor shaking up West Michigan Thursday night. But
there's lots of things to see up there, and you never know what you're going to get. So you might get lucky and see a meteor coming to the atmosphere, you know?
Yeah, that didn't sound like a meteorite to me. That didn't sound like a meteorite to me at all. They're doing Charlo dirty. He should have got it with Canelo, fight before Canelo. I think he had the 7th round. Definitely doesn't sound like a meteorite at all. Yeah, exactly. When is the last time you hear a shooting star? And what the lady said is it shook everything. She said it was so loud, it shook the house too. So that's obviously something mechanical. Now, they showed us the little zips. That's hard to say. But the sound is hard to cover up. That was something very mechanical. Some type, see it, they're slowly trying to introduce this crap. Slowly. Yeah. Yeah, their lies are too good to laugh. Exactly. But I thought if you guys didn't catch that, I thought that was interesting. If you didn't catch that, let's see, it was one more. Oh, okay. This is just for fun. But before I show this, let me see where I want to start it at. This is kind of funny too. But let me see where. Yeah, I'll start it right here. All right, now you know one thing who I am. I am the most successful man. Let me look. Wait, let me tell you. Where's my notebook? I keep a notebook track. Right here. Let me see. Now, Doe Eyes, what did it say? Doe Eyes gave me $1.50. Sly gave me 20. I think Nick gave me 5. Let me add this up. I did make 100 from YouTube. So I think this year, I am the most successful man that only made, I think I'm up to $600 this year. That only made $600 this year. But these good European folks is about to sprinkle me. They about to sprinkle me with 250 big bucks for really, they got a surplus of money. And so they're about to give me 250 bucks. They might give me more. I doubt it, but let's go.
Here we go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. A great day today. Lots of thank yous to go around. I'm going to start with, and you'll hear from some of these.
I'm not hearing him at all. All right. For some reason, they got them tapped out. Let's see. No, that's on. I don't know why I'm not hearing nothing from him.
Commissioner Marquardt and his team at Revenue.
Huh.
Incredible work.
Everything is on.
Getting themselves ready to put money in the bank accounts last evening of tens of thousands of Minnesotans. And
I don't know. I heard this earlier.
Several weeks, 2.1 million fans.
I heard this earlier. Let me try. What channel was that? I think Let's see. Okay, that's Fox 9. Let's try another Fox 9. See if I can bring it up. Because they're trying to give me some money. They're trying to give me some money.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. A great day today.
Something turned
Lots
it
of
off.
thank yous to go around. I'm going to start with Marquardt in his net revenue.
Something's muted.
Work,
I'm muted somewhere.
Getting themselves ready to put money in the bank accounts last evening of tens of thousands of Minnesotans, and over the next several weeks,
Why am I muted?
Families. Special thank you to the chairs of our tax committee, Senator Rest.
I don't know.
Chair Gomez.
My stories
Incredible
are
work
muted.
of putting together one of the most expansive.
And so, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, they're giving out rebate checks. And so that's all I was going to play is the rebate checks they're giving out.
Gather the necessary information to pursue these charges.
Oh, so this is them. This ain't me. Okay. Oh, okay. Let me show this.
Gather the necessary information to pursue these.
Now this is I'm sorry. This is kind of. Let's see. Yeah, that's them.
1 million.
Yeah, they have an issue. That's not me.
Gather the necessary information to pursue these charges.
Okay, let's see if I can find another channel that, because all of them talk about it. Fox News is having some issues. So where's WCCO? Here we go. They probably got the same stuff, local stuff.
For some of your money to.
Oh, here we go. This is Garrett, my favorite news anchor. Let her tell it.
Come back to you this week. The state is starting to send back tax rebate checks to Minnesota families. We've been talking about these payments for months. Up to $1,300 per eligible family. Individuals can get up to $260. A married couple will get around $520. People we talked to.
Look at that, y'all. They're about to give me a lick. I'm about to get a $260 lick. Oh, what do we say, Rich? Me and Richard Parrott. What does he say? What does he say?
Shit, bro, I'm trying to make me some money.
I'm trying to make me some.
Shit, bro, I'm trying to make me some money.
They giving up $260. All right, I'm sorry. Let him keep telling it.
Today say the money will be put to good use.
Well, it helps some folks. Well, I mean, my wife and I are both retired, so we're doing fine. But, there's a lot of people that are really hurting. They could use $200.
It's really helpful, especially when you have, 2 kids and family. It's really great.
Direct deposit payments will go out first. Paper checks will then be put in the mail. All 2.1 million rebate payments are expected to be paid out by the end of September. For some of your money to come back to you this week.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Researcher, what's happening? If I didn't say what's happening, you already. And I know you got to have.
You got to have vision.
Edward, what's happening? And I know you got to have.
You got to have vision.
So the reason they're handing out money, and at first they said they were supposed to be handing out $1,200, but the reason they're handing out money is the state had such a big surplus. And since the state had such a big surplus, they're handing out what it originally was supposed to be $1,200. For some reason now, as you see, for the individual person, it's $260. And since, I am the world's most successful man that only makes, well, it was $400, but now I've made about $600 this year. They called me and they said, you only made $600 this year. We feel sorry for you, and we're going to give you a check, and we're going to give you what do they call that? What do they give you in Christmas time when they give you that nasty bread? Fruit bread or whatever they call that. They said they were going to send me some of that too. I told them no thank you on the bread, but I'll take the little bitty money, and I'll throw a party with it. How about that? I'm going to buy a bunch of Elliott Nest and load it up in the corner. I'm going to invite a few friends, grab a couple more microphones, and we're going to party up in here. You know, I got the fireplace going in the 85-degree day. So that's what we're going to do with it. I'm going to have a party up in here and buy some bud. You know, it's not nowhere near enough money, well, maybe for a couple ounces, but nowhere near enough for a pound of legal bud. So, so that's, yeah, it's a type of bonus. It's definitely a type of bonus. So I think it's funny. But I was trying to show these families, this lady, like, you know who they showed. That's why I wanted to show it. That is the main reason why I wanted to show it. Let me see. Okay. I can cut him off. All right. But I want to show this part. Now look at this. Look at this. Look at this. She has 4 or 5 children. I don't think there's a man. She's got, got the cap on. But this is who they pull out. This is like, and she's like, well, this time of year it's helping me because with school clothes. Then show her son and stuff. This is what 200. She gonna get 1,300 because she got a bunch of children. And look at him. He really needs it. Same old. Got the hat on backwards, looking kind of raggedy. But I mean, look who they pull out. They telling you niggas is go get it, cause European folks don't need it. But I mean, this is the kind of shit they do. They don't tell you more Europeans is gonna get this money than niggas, but look who they put on camera. I mean, that's how bogus they do us. That is how.
For some of your money to come back.
That is how bogus they do. They do it that bogus. Here's
over the next few days some extra cash from millions.
Here's another news agency. Let's see how they roll it out. And she looks like Selena Gomez, but a European version of Selena Gomez. But let's go.
Of Minnesotans is on the way.
In 4 hours, Governor Walz makes an official announcement about those rebate checks just in time for back to school. Cece's live at the Capitol breaking down how much you'll get. Hey, Cece.
Cece looks good. This looks like her real hair. I don't know why she's wearing a sweater, though. It's pretty hot. When she was out here, I was out there watching her. I stalk her and stuff. So when she was interviewing, I was probably playing pickleball, so I couldn't have stalked her. But anyway, I wanted to stalk her, but I didn't think about it because I forgot about her. But anyway, I see her now, and I wish I'd have went over there and stalked her while she was in front of the building wearing the sweater, but I didn't because I was playing pickleball. So I probably won't stalk her because I play pickleball. But anyway, let her tell it.
Hey, good morning. So Governor Walz will make that announcement at 10:30 this morning. And we know that those checks will be going out to more than 2 million households. So here's a breakdown of how much you'll get. So if you're single and made $75,000 or less in 2021, you'll get a check for $260. Married couples.
Now, think about the logic. I made nowhere near $75,000. So I am going to, I only made 600. Well, back in that year, I'd have to look. Back in 2021, I probably made only about $50 for the whole year. I only probably made $50 for the whole year. And I should have showed people how to do it, but maybe I made a little more, but I don't quite remember. A little more, but I don't quite remember. But I am going to be eligible. They didn't send it to me today, so I can't have my party today. So just wanted to let you know. But if you have a bunch of children and, you have 4 or 5, they'll each get $260 each. And so, I might have to go rent some children or something so that I'll be like, hey, you forgot about them.
That made $150 or less in 2021 will get $520. Families can get another $260 for each dependent, up to 3 dependents. So payments are capped at $1,300 with this. Now, if you have up-to-date banking information, you'll see the cash right in your bank account. If your info isn't up to date, you'll get a paper check at the address listed on your 2021 tax return. Now, you don't need to apply to get these checks, but you had to live in Minnesota either part of or all of 2021 to be eligible. Officials say that all checks should be out to Minnesotans by the end of September. Jason, Alicia?
I'm going, I'm lying, y'all. I am going to take all that $260 and find out where she's at and see how much I can give it to her. How much the checks I can give her. I'm like, hey, honey, I got $260 the hard way. What's happening? Oh, yeah, I'm just joking. I'm not that kind of guy. I don't need it like that. We had a water issue here. Let's see. There's one more thing.
For some of your money.
I did catch that I did want to relate. I think it's one more story. Let's see. July this year was the hottest on record. Do you believe that? That's what they're about to tell us, that July was the hottest July ever. So let's check it out. Was it the hottest July ever, or what was it?
Month, and now scientists say July turned out to be the hottest one on record since record keeping starting some 174 years ago. That is astounding to think about that. 174 years ago, we just had the hottest July on record.
Wow. It is wild. And, if you think about it, when it comes to Minnesota, the state of Minnesota, we actually had a rather cool month on average. And one thing that I realized when we talked about, I got my master's degree at U of M, and part of that was being able to communicate climate change. One thing that I found in my research was that a lot of people don't really understand variability.
Explain that.
So, and so you don't have just every single day from here on out is going to get hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. That's just not how science works, right? But if you look at the overall trend, the temperatures, even though that graph may fluctuate a little bit, and even though we may have a cooler than average month here and there, or even for Minnesota here in June or July, any of those months, we see that overall trend go up. And that is what is key. And that's what you focus on, is what the overall trend, it continues to go up. And this is just another one of those markers that we're seeing going up. It was just really hot.
Well, I think about that. I think about that chart that great graph that you use all the time about the number of 90 degrees days that we had. I'm thinking about the month of July. We actually had several in the month of July. What are we up to now? Is it 20?
I always criticize, but I do like this suit, and I know what maker this is. I like this suit. He's stiff, and I always like her, and she doesn't look bad. But I always I think she's more of my favorite. But I like this suit. The suit looks good. I know exactly where he got that suit.
So 23 is where we're at now. And then we're, today we might add 24. Today's forecast high is 90. So, and then once we hit this weekend, we added, maybe 3, 4 more. I was just looking at the potential heat index for Saturday, could be 100.
Wow.
I feel like it's just nature, like, here comes the fair. Take this, all of you guys who work out.
That's right, and our fair is about to come here.
Out at the fair.
It's so true.
Hot and humid.
It's so true. Oh, well, Shannon's going to be introduced to the fair this year, too.
Okay. Oh, I know. And then next week, do we have a day where we inch close to 100 at all? Is it
at least mid-90s.
Mid-90s.
And then the heat index getting better.
Yeah, we're feeling it. Yeah.
Real quick, because I was reading about this study, El Nino. That plays a role in this too, right?
El Nino, La Nina, what that does is called our ENSO pattern. It gives us a good idea. It's one of our best predictors for far out long-term forecasts. So we are right now looking at a prediction of El Nino for this winter. And what that means for the upper Midwest, it would trend warmer. So we would be trending warmer than average for this winter. And again, when I say warmer, that doesn't mean it's going to be 90 this winter. That means when you take our average temp, which in January, our average high is in the 20s at times, then you're slightly above that, which means you might just be closer to freezing. So
Sure.
it's all relative, right?
Sure.
And then, by the way, precipitation-wise, it's about 50-50 for us in the upper Midwest, so it doesn't give us a good signal when it comes to the snow forecast. But if you remember, we had record snow last winter, so it would be maybe a little less likely we'd have a record snow winter.
We had a top 10, I think it's the top 3 snowiest winters of all time. Of all time. And so El Nino doesn't necessarily mean quite everything she said. I've lived through many. And she says it's relevant. I disagree. El Ninos tend to make your winters mild. And I mean considerably mild. Like where it might not snow and still be warm in November, December. We've had El Ninos, like when my daughter was born in 11, we had an El Nino year. I had a big $2,000-$3,000 snow blower. I was just ready to blow snow. Like so ready. So that's 2011. I'd have to look at the inches, but we didn't really have winter. Matter of fact, me being the hardest, most successful man that only makes $600-$700 a year, I had a job where I was gonna make a little more. I was gonna sit in one of the warming houses. Do you know what a warming house is? See, here all our parks have built-in hockey rinks. So in the summer, you just see open little hockey rink boards and stuff. You know what a hockey rink looks like. But in the wintertime, they flood them. And this is where we have our children's hockey leagues. If you just is a skating ass nigga, you can go out there and skate your ass off. But there's a warming house where just motherfucker sits in there with the warmers, It's like, I'm the warmer house, they're staffed. And this was supposed to be a 3-month job, January, February, March. They canceled the job because it never got cold enough that winter of 2011. It must have been, I wonder if it was 10 going into 11. Yeah, because my daughter, 10 going into 11. Probably before my daughter was born. And before my daughter was born, that winter, 10 going into 11, it did not freeze enough for me to work one day. Now, one day, me and him, the neighbor was about to get put out of his house, so he got a job. Their house was about to be foreclosed, so he needed a job bad. He had lost his job too. And we both didn't work a day because it never froze enough. And so El Ninos do mean it can be significantly different weather in your region. So this reminds me of MLK's Poor Man campaign. He said, we're coming out to get our check. Afterwards, he was, that was the other one. Not only that, he talks about what was done for Europeans, given all this free land, how they were given free tractors and stuff and free loans and displaced a lot of brothers and sisters. I've said before, the Potawatomi have a big issue with the Indians from the East Coast because the Potawatomis was put out of Michigan, and the majority of them were put out of Michigan, and a lot of the Indians that came from the East Coast went into Michigan. My family went into Michigan about 1850. And so we came originally from the East Coast. From that period, we came from North Carolina, but my family were Indians up in the Boston area. That's where my family comes from, the original people. And we come from the 1500s, living over there. We met them mugs. But anyway, so yeah. This is like our weather pattern. This is our weather for the week. Supposed to get, she said 90. I got right here 86, and right now it's 85, and it's windy as shit. It's hot weather, hot air blowing on you. Tomorrow 76, which is gonna be beautiful. Friday 81, Saturday 91, Sunday 91, Monday 92, Tuesday 97, Wednesday 89, next Thursday 91. It will be going into, the end of, September. which it is still summer. And for those of you, I'm going to have to poke y'all. For those of you that hate your children and making your children go back in the prime of summertime, why y'all hate your children so much? I don't get that. Why do y'all hate your children? My daughter does not go back to school until September 6th. Because we don't hate our children in this state. We don't like our children to go to school in the summertime. They're only in this state, they're only going to go to school 2 weeks in the summertime. But some of y'all done put y'all children the whole month of August back to school. And y'all don't get out any earlier. Y'all get out about the same time. So y'all hate y'all children. Y'all be like, yeah, we got to get these little mugs back to school. Your babysitters. Ah, the babysitters. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wanted to show this. I think this is from here. Let's see.
This guy.
Is this? Oh, this is from Detroit. This is from Detroit. So, but this can happen. And I talked about this before. Wow. Let's see. Damn. I talked about this before, and you got to be careful when you try to hire contractors.
Backyards. And the stuff he posts on his website, blogs, podcasts, and social media pages makes it look like he's floating on an ocean of success. Hey there, Brandon. Rob Walchuk from Fox 2. Can I talk to you? Meet Brandon Heitman.
Hey, Brandon Heitman here. We can get you a new swimming pool.
Brandon bills himself as a millionaire contractor, an internet personality, a pool builder who's taken the plunge and made a fortune. What a success story. From mowing lawns for $20 to $1 million projects.
Oh, let's go. Let's roll.
Love checks. Love.
Got a lot of money coming in and a lot of money going out.
This 30-year-old entrepreneur is so successful, he's a mentor to other contractors around the nation. Yep, you can be like Brandon by joining the Heitman Academy, flying in private jets, visiting exotic places, building pools. Let's dive in and check out some of this guy's masterpieces. Like this still unfinished gunite beauty, which was supposed to be completed more than a year ago. It's such a unique design, it won't even pass code. 75% 10-foot deep end and hardly any shallow end.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
How about this fantabulous fiberglass pool that gets deeper every day? Because the owners say it's sagging in the middle and sinking.
Our pool is essentially garbage. It needs to be torn out and started from scratch.
Or how about this pool? Oh, that's right. There is no pool here, even though this couple paid Brandon $60,000.
Everything that he told us was a lie.
Brandon is a special businessman.
He even cried, like tears, like when he wanted me to give him more money.
Crybaby contractor.
He started crying.
High-living huckster.
He's super arrogant.
Get ready for 2023. Now is the time to grind.
It's sink or swim with Brandon Heitman.
You need to be willing to get outside the comfort zone.
Going outside his comfort zone and maybe going straight into a jail cell. This is Becca and Alex's pool. They paid Brandon Heitman's company Exogen of Shelby Township more than $100,000 to install it. But they say the fiberglass pool was put in crooked, under stress, and won't pass inspection.
The way someone explained it to me is they said take a Rubbermaid tote that you use downstairs for storage and turn it and twist it. Lock it in concrete and fill it with water. There is going to be an extreme amount of tension on every part of that Rubbermaid tote.
They say Brandon Heitman was too busy making videos promoting himself to help them. Soon they found out the guy who was teaching others how to be a successful contractor wasn't even a licensed contractor himself. In fact, he didn't get his license until March of 2023.
I went and pulled the permits. That's when we discovered that they were unlicensed.
The permits were pulled by somebody named Henry Bell, a licensed contractor the couple say they've never met, who's never stepped foot on their property and doesn't even work for Exogen. Alex put together this website to document how terrible their experience has been. But instead of Brandon coming out to help them fix their pool, he sued them for defamation.
To date, I've paid him $122,000.
The end says she's humiliated by how badly she was heisted by Heitman.
I asked him specifically if he had a license. He said yes.
There's plenty of holes in that story. Here's the main one in her backyard. Pipes are cemented in that are too small. The elevation is off.
Holy sh**.
And it's been like this for 2 whole summers. She told Brandon she's had enough, but Brandon told her he didn't have enough money to bring it up to code.
I'm not the bank. We've paid you for this. And he started crying, saying he's really in a tough spot.
Brandon used the Crybaby Contractor Act on Joe and Angela as well.
He started crying.
They paid Boo-Hoo and Brandon $60,000 for a pool that was supposed to be done this April. But the only thing they have to show is this ridiculous-looking diagram of a pool built into the side of a hill next to their house. And get this, Brandon and the couple were actually friends. Here they are at one of Brandon's wedding parties. Joe asked his friend,
"What have you bought with my money?"
And what does he say?
"I don't have it."
But Brandon did have lots of fancy stuff, a new house in Macomb, a Lamborghini. Remember, this is a guy who posts videos about how successful he is. Man, he runs the Heitman Academy. Wonder if Brandon teaches how to dodge judgments. He is good at that. Attorney Danny Batty's client has a consent judgment against Brandon.
The court is ordering Mr. Heitman and his company to pay the X amount of dollars that was at issue.
And has he paid anything?
No, he has not.
How much did Joe Regaldo get stiffed?
He gave him the full $81,000.
So he gave him $81,000 up front to build the pool?
That's correct.
A similar agreement was made with a guy named Mark Shamaya. Brandon agreed to pay him back $67,000 for a pool that was never even started. Seems like Pool Boy is drowning in debt. His solution? Make more videos trying to get new customers.
Hey, Brandon here. Let me tell you why you need to invest in your new outdoor living space today.
And it must have worked because just 2 weeks ago, a couple in Grosse Pointe say they gave him $75,000 for a new pool. This is what they have so far. Little did they know Exigent was filing for bankruptcy. It happened just last week, a week after Brandon Heitman was arrested and charged with 2 felonies, taking more than $50,000 under false pretenses and fraudulent use of the builder's contract fund. He bonded out of jail on $30,000 cash. And remember, when he drew up the contracts on all these pools, the millionaire contractor didn't even have a contractor's license. Their permits were all pulled by someone named Henry Bell. What's he got to say about it? I went to his house and left cards. Rob Walchuk from Fox 2. Looking for Henry Bell. But Henry's never contacted me back. So where is Brandon Heitman? According to their website, this is the headquarters of Exigent Design and Build. But we found out they haven't been here for years. But I did find him at this work yard on 23 Mile in Shelby, pacing around, talking business on the phone, or maybe he's mentoring a student from the Heitman Academy. Time for me to dunk Pool Boy. Can I talk to you? What's that? No, I want to talk to you right now. Brandon, hang on, man. Hey, come on. Here, talk to me. What's going on with your business?
Talk to my attorney, thank you.
I want to talk to you.
Great offer.
Well, what's going on with your business now? You're a talkative guy. I've seen your videos.
Thank you. Don't run away from pressure.
How's the Heitman Academy going? Why don't you give back the money to the $60,000 to Angela and Joe? Come on, Brandon, talk to me.
Come on, talk to him, Brandon.
Come on, dude, roll your window down.
Yeah, roll your window down, Brandon. Oh, my friend has a car like that.
Here, you want to take my business card?
Fuck your card.
You're going to have your attorney contact you. Who's your attorney?
Thank you. I'll have them call you. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, Brandon, come on in. The water's perfect here in the Hall of Shame.
So that just shows you. It can cost you $150. And if they're not breaking ground, as I said, my $150,000, excuse me, it can cost almost up to $150,000. And as I said, with my brother-in-law's pool, first thing they do is dig, and then they start laying concrete, and then they lay the rubber stuff over that. And the pool was up within 8 days. I mean, you got to put chemicals, and it takes about 2 weeks before you can really swim in it, but because it's chemicals, they got to put in it again. But if your pool ain't up by 2 weeks, I'd be like, hey, beating somebody's ass and wondering what's going on. So, said before, you can't. Hey, the one, Aggie Pride. And I know he's got to have
vision.
Man, the one, I'm getting married on homecoming this year. Because we were thinking about coming, but then I looked at the schedule and we're actually getting married on homecoming. So I don't think we're going to make it down there this year. I was hoping to come down there. You know, me and the teammates.
So we heard a lot about record-breaking.
Me and my teammates are getting old. You know, we played the first game at Aggie Stadium. A lot of people can't say that they played. Oh, I gotta show this. I gotta show this. I didn't know about this. What is this? New video shows why a deputy was supposed to slam the chick. Oh my goodness, that's not what this is. That's not what this is.
Football team out practicing in front of fans today.
Yeah, the team making some final tweaks before the season begins. Pierre Newsham joins us live from campus. Pierre, there's still some questions, though, surrounding this year's team.
Yeah, Amy and Randy, several big names like Mohamed Ibrahim and Tanner Morgan have now moved on from the program. And with the Gophers kicking off the season in just over 2 weeks from now, some of the big shoes have yet to be filled as some starting jobs are still up for grabs.
I wanted to say this. They did offer me a scholarship. I'm still running a 5.4 40, and they thought I could play tight end, but I told them I couldn't do it. I was like, I can't do it. Because my vision would mean if they tackled me, I'd probably fall down and not get up. So anyway, I'm not helping the Gophers this year, but I'm going to let them continue.
The Gophers are scheduled to open the season in just over 2 weeks, and according to head coach PJ Fleck, starting positions are still up for grabs.
I always tell our players, I don't pick the depth chart, they do. It's all based on your performance.
Throughout Tuesday's practice session, we saw different starting combinations along the offensive line, and as far as the running back group is concerned, it'll be a much different look than what Gophers fans saw last year.
I mean, it's definitely going to be a committee approach. I don't think you're going to see, what we had last year with Mohamed having 30, 40 carries a game. You're not going to see that. I'm not saying that won't happen, but I think we have too much depth. And guys do a lot of things differently.
The Gophers have 16 days to sort out their starters, but until then, the players say now is the time to start forming an identity, and that identity revolves around one word: toughness.
Coach Fleck talks about it all the time. You don't want to have too many high highs and too many.
Okay, now this is what's bullshit. If he's talking because he's one of the starters or a captain, he's talking because he's a starter or a captain. So that's why he's talking.
Low lows, but at the same time, you need to be able to withstand the toughness and the hard stuff that's going to be coming throughout the season.
Much has been made about Minnesota's 2023 schedule, and when you look at this season's opponents, that toughness the players are talking about needs to come early, and the coaches and players believe it will.
We're playing elite opponents, non-conference, in conference, playing the best of the best in each one of their leagues. But as I said before, I love this football team to take that challenge on with this particular football team.
Confidence comes from the work, and the work's going to speak for itself in the fall.
Oh, this dude is like a 20th year senior. He almost old as me. He done played about 15 different colleges. No, he's a 5th or 6th year senior. But 27, come on, that's the ugliest number that football has. My friend is Desmond Eastman. I think he's 97 or 98. I kind of forgot.
One more item we need to talk about from today's practice session. Starting quarterback Ethan Kaliak-Manis was seen working hard early in practice, but his workload slowed down toward the end of practice, and at one point he wasn't throwing at all. When asked about that, PJ Fleck says it's nothing to be concerned about. They're just monitoring how many reps Kaliak-Manis is taking, and he expects his starting quarterback to be a full go come tomorrow. Live in Minneapolis.
So we have the Gophers coming on. I wonder if there's a Viking story. Wonder where the Vikings are. Reeves looking for Mitchell to step up for the Lynx. Here we go. She's looking for Mitchell to step up.
The Minnesota Lynx are right where they need.
For the Lynx. Minnesota Lynx are right where they're supposed to be for the playoff push. Let him tell it. See, I like this. That's okay. I like it. That's stiff. That's right. You get at the body form you and you button the top polo. Okay.
To be with 10 games remaining in the regular season. Currently, they are 6th in league standings, which would be good enough for a playoff spot, but the team knows how they finish the season will ultimately decide their playoff fate. Guard Lindsey Allen will be sidelined with a fractured thumb, meaning more players will need to step up. One player head coach Cheryl Reeve wants to see more from is Tiffany Mitchell. She says the little things will help separate the Lynx from the rest of the pack and will help.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, but I am too eager fan. Yeah, like I gave her a high five and I broke her hand, and I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't know it. I was just going by and say, good game, high five, and I heard her hand go crack. So yeah, I'm sorry, I broke her hand. Where's Val? Let's Val go.
For defense, I want her to use her physical gifts in ways that we've not yet.
That is one ugly lady. This is an ugly lady. I mean, why did you come out here and like she should have a mask on, like her eyes and everything, but this Val, even with makeup, ain't too cute. So let's go.
Seen this season, so we're going to push her in that regard. We want her to focus on the details of what she's running and being fundamental about, for example, the angle of her pass. Sometimes she'll get loose and she'll just wing a pass and it'll go out of bounds.
Sometimes she just gets loose and wing a pass. Oh, she just gets loose sometime, y'all. How does she get loose? She just gets loose sometime, y'all.
So we're holding her accountable for those, as fine a detail as that. I think once she gets into a play, her reads are pretty good. Her instincts are pretty good. Play calling, I want her to communicate. She's not an outward communicator. So she has to give of herself in that way. She has to get uncomfortable. And that's what we're going to help her do.
The Lynx will have one day off before they travel to Seattle to get ready for a weekend series that starts.
You see how good he looks with his polo? Look at that. Look how good that looks. See, y'all. So, cheer for the Lynx. Let me see if they showed. Let me see if I can catch the. Let me see if I can catch the baseball game last night. So they're making a late playoff push. They're making a late playoff push. I thought I could find something on the Grand Slam last night. Let's see. Nothing on it. Nothing on it. Nothing on it at all. Let's see. And oh, here we go. Maybe short sports. Yeah, they don't have anything on the Grand Slam last night. Let's see. No. Nothing on the Grand Slam. I'd have to go look up the Twins. It ain't that big a deal to me. Oh, yeah, no. It is just comical up here, with the news. Prep Sports Preview. Prep Sports Preview. I think y'all want to hear about the Prep Sports Preview. We got Prep Sports and we're going to preview it. I hope my one friend, Ricky Foggy, I hope somebody didn't let Rick coach. Rick deserves to coach. Great player for the Gophers and in Canada. But this is the upcoming football preview of the Twin Cities. Give you a little bit of something that you wasn't looking for. You wasn't looking for the Twin Cities previews. Whoa, blowing my mind.
Hello, Minnesota high school football fans. Welcome to Prep Preview on YouTube. Yes. I'm Randy Shaver, along with the overly excited Craig Norkus. Here we go. As we dive into another season of Minnesota high school football coverage, we are excited to be back.
Excited?
I know
yeah,
you are.
That's not even the word. But, we haven't been on this playing field, on this set, since November 9th of last year. So it's kind of like, are we feeling a little bit of the rust, kind of like the preseason type thing?
I don't know about you.
Well, I got to admit, Okay, I'm a little bit nervous and scared.
Okay.
That you're going to be a little rusty.
Okay.
And commit some verbal turnovers. So
okay.
I'm prepared.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah, I'm going to actually call an audible right off the top of the show.
Okay.
To assist you.
Oh.
Okay, are you ready?
This ought to be good.
Okay, pay attention. I right, 65 toss power trap, blue sky left, 42 WP rocket, nail black Razor X, gel, Jello, Jack East, jumping Jessica West, yo-yo U4, out the door, Tesla speed limit ignore, line lone limb, stone, pristine Christine, north nod, P code, SIE dirty, state fair, Firefox, mayonnaise, Omaha 8, spread, sprocket, space mace, mulligan. On two, ready, break.
I have no idea what that means.
Did you not get that?
No.
The crowd noise?
We don't need.
Okay, well, let's just do it again, right? I write 65.
No.
Okay, well, how about we just remember the last line? Spread, sprocket, space, mace, mulligan.
Okay.
Mulligan being out of all that, the word that you need to remember, just like your golf game where you use a lot of them. In this show, I'm going to give you a lot of mulligans for your verbal turnovers.
I'm also very good at a foot wedge during golf matches as well.
Okay, well, you know, I don't make the same mistake twice. I make it 6 or 7 times just to make sure.
Right.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do that, shall we? Coming up, I'm going to reveal my annual preseason All-Metro football team. This after conversations that I've had over the last couple of weeks with virtually every head football coach in the Metro. That's coming up in a minute, but first, football teams hit the field across the state on August 14th. We are off and running.
You ready? It's a hit. Here, get up, get it. That's it, Ben. That's it. Good. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Nice job. There we go. Hey, you don't move, you get spiked.
Football practice opened up around the state on Monday, August 14th.
That hit.
And at Holy Family Catholic.
Good, nice feet, good.
It's a whole new look with Dan O'Brien.
Oh, Holy Catholic. That's where they just sent a boy up to Duluth, North Dakota State. North Dakota. No. Damn, what is it called up there in Duluth? It's not Minnesota State. I forget, but this is where he went to high school. Chuck went to high school here.
Taking over as head coach.
Good. Hey, I like that. I like that, Luke. I like that. Grind it. Good.
OB left a successful job at St. Thomas Academy to take over at Holy Family.
I don't know that you ever made a mistake, Nelly, have you?
Coaching along with legends Dave Nelson and Jeff Ferguson.
Oh, that's awesome. What do you got right here?
Jump to left blue 47.
Let's see if we can do that.
Those Hall of Fame coaches with over 450 wins, 10 state championships between them.
That's it, that's it, that's it.
OB also added defensive guru Jeff Maritko.
Boom, boom, right inside there. There you go. Hey, now come with it, right? Come with it.
Who worked with Fergie at Totino Grace.
Nice job, we're going to defensive stuff. We're going to be in our same spots.
It's a star-studded coaching lineup tasked with getting Holy Family's program back up to speed. The Fire has lost 21 straight football games dating back to 2020.
Here we go. Fire on 3, 1, 2, 3. Fire. Get to work. Let's go.
No, this ain't where Chuck went to school. I think this is where my brother-in-law went to school for a season.
But Dan says it's been a lot of fun so far, and he was surprised by the number of players who showed up on Monday.
DB's right over here. Inside linebacker. So Coach Mo, big old Coach Mo. Here we go. We're excited. We got 62 kids showed up on our first day today, and hopefully we'll be able to sneak a couple more. And that's where it all starts. You know, you have to have numbers in order to practice, and I think when you start to rebuild a program, and that's where we're at, you know, we have.
Okay, who else they got? Okay, so.
Just bits and pieces of it. They're going to open against the.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of losses again. So who else? What did they get here?
Body.
Yes.
But other than that, that was a great day.
Yes, it was. We're going to show you the actual TV promo for the show in just a minute. But first, hear from Gopher recruit Sam Macy of Chanhassen on his amazing summer. Sam Macy, number 9, was a force on the football field last season for Chanhassen. The junior defensive end made some big-time plays, but after the season, he didn't earn the scholarship offer he desired from the Gophers. Simply, Sam needed to show the Gophers he could put on weight but maintain his athleticism.
Went from 195 to 220, put on quality weight, quit basketball so I could put on weight and get ready for this football season. They put me on a weight program, eating, lifting, and then speed. So, I mean, I brought my 40 time from 4.77, 4.6 flat. When you put on 25 pounds to do that, it helps. But you come to our camp, you work hard, you earn it, you'll get your offer.
Bend, there you go, bend, 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 bend.
That's exactly what happened June 4th, I think it was. They offered me, I committed on the spot. It was crazy. It was almost, when I went into PJ's office, I was almost just blackout because I was too scared to talk to him. Because, I mean, I love PJ. He's an intimidating guy, so he's got a lot of energy. So, yeah, it was good.
Sam is now committed to the Gophers, and the sky is the limit. It's yet another example of how hard work and determination can pay off.
I think I saw this guy play basketball. Sure I did.
Is football healthy in Minnesota?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I love how it is in Minnesota. And my friend,
I think it's dying. I actually think it's dying.
Turning out a lot of athletes. And I say quietly because everyone talks about down south, down south, down south. But we put a lot of kids in football, basketball, softball. I can't speak on the baseball because there's so many levels of baseball. But
Dude who won Player of the Year just signed to go to this Beck school. He was supposed to play out in California at a prep school, but the top Mr. Basketball, Jalen Johnson, I can't think of his name, but he just signed for Beck. He just signed to Beck. So, yeah. People ain't feeling this. Well, I don't really care. This is the Big Eagle Hour. And so we talk about the things that I have passion for. I have passion for sports, y'all. Passion. So that's why I talk about it. It's a lot going on in the world. And, I don't like to, I don't talk about the average favorite things because there's so much going on, more going on. So much more going on in the world. I like that. I like that picture. And I don't, really care about what's going on in Maui. Whoa, I did not see this. Wow, that is sad. So, block low like this. I like that for pickleball. Block low. Seaside return to Kansas City newspaper. Okay, what is this? Shoplifting start fire in Clovis Cole. Shoplifting suspects. So they get caught shoplifting, so they catch the place on fire. Let's laugh at that.
We're getting our...
Let's laugh at this. Look at all that, shoplifting. You think they're legals or illegals? Let's see what they say.
Been accused of setting a fire inside a Clovis Kohl's store to distract workers as they made off with hundreds of dollars worth of clothing. CBS 47's Juanita Dame is live at Clovis Avenue in Gettysburg.
Juanita, I don't know. Juanita is cute. Let's go, Juanita. I didn't expect to see Juanita.
We're at the gas station where those women were arrested with a look at the charges that they're facing tonight.
Well, Brian, they made away with about $500 worth of merchandise from that Kohl's. Another $3,200 worth of merchandise was found inside the store. All of that merchandise was recovered, and all of those women are now in jail. Handcuffed with their heads hanging in shame.
4 of them are adult females, and we do have 1 male juvenile detained.
This group of 5 waited as Clovis police officers searched their car and recovered the stolen merchandise they'd taken from inside a Clovis department store on Monday afternoon.
So about 2:15 this afternoon, we received 911 calls from this Kohl's here at the Sierra Vista Mall.
The women identified as 27-year-old Jessica Gutierrez, 41-year-old Adra Amaro, 20-year-old Erica Mendez, and 26-year-old Angel Sanchez have all been booked into the Fresno County Jail. The male juvenile who accompanied them has been booked into Fresno County's Juvenile Justice Center. Surveillance video from the Johnny Quick gas station shows the moments when Clovis police caught up with them.
An officer saw a vehicle matching the description in the area of Clovis and Gettysburg.
Before running out of the store, police believe one of them started a fire inside.
At this time, we believe that the fire was set to, and so all 5 suspects could run out of the store.
Investigators said 26-year-old Angel Sanchez was seen on Kohl's surveillance video with the large lighter starting a fire at the back.
Luckily, the fire only caused minimal damage because one of the store employees actually grabbed a fire extinguisher from inside the store.
Today's response from both fire and police was fast and effective. They credit this to a live 911 system where officers can hear the 911 call as it's happening.
It really helped today, definitely with the information that Kohl's provided and the fact that they called immediately. That we were able to get the fire department here safely and quickly.
She said the officer could, I did not know that they could hear the 911 calls? What?
The fact that they called immediately, that we were able to get the fire department here.
Live 911 system where officers can hear the 911 call as it's happening.
I did not know they had that capability to put the 911 calls out to the police cars, the squads. I did not know that. Well, God damn, what happened here? Damn. Whoa. It's got to be the same. Wow. Which one should I show? Yeah, I guess we're going to show this one. Damn. Wow. Check this shit out. I didn't hear about this shit. Here we go.
Pasadena police looking for the person who sexually assaulted an 11-year-old girl before strangling her to death.
Investigators say this happened on Saturday while the child's father was at work. Matt Doherty is live in Pasadena.
I think this dude played Candyman. I think he looks like Candyman, but I could be wrong.
Tonight, talking with the father and police. What are they saying, Matt?
Lenimia, the father, is devastated tonight. Tonight, police made it clear that he is not a suspect. In fact, he was the one who found his daughter beneath a bed on Saturday afternoon.
Dispatcher just asked the subject who put the 11-year-old in a trash bag under the bed. We're very unclear on what's going on with the call split.
On Saturday afternoon, paramedics in Pasadena were sent to this apartment complex to help a child who was found not breathing. Little did they know, it arrived at the scene of a horrific murder.
Go ahead and get everybody out of the apartment, seal it off, and separate them.
Beneath the bed was 11-year-old Maria Elena Gonzalez, her body wrapped in a trash bag, stuffed in a laundry basket. One day later, her autopsy would show she'd been beaten, sexually assaulted, and strangled.
Very brutal, and, obviously it's also taken a toll on our officers that were out there and made the scene.
She was a good, quiet girl, says Maria Elena's father, Carmelo Gonzalez, as we sat down with him today. He says it's been 4 years since he and his daughter came to the U.S. from Guatemala, and 3 months since they moved into this apartment complex. He tells us he left for work Saturday morning at about 9:45. Just after 10 a.m., his daughter sent him a message saying there was somebody knocking at the door. He told her not to open it. She said she wouldn't and that she would stay in her bed. It was the last communication he would get from his daughter. I called and called and called, her father said, but she didn't answer me. Gonzalez called his brother and sister-in-law, who also live at the complex, asking them to go check on her. When they got to the unit, the door was open and they didn't see the girl. Gonzalez was the one who found his daughter when he got home, after he looked under the bed. Now police say they're on the hunt for a dangerous child killer. They're still awaiting the results of forensic tests, but so far have no suspects.
Wow. That is too bad. Wow. That is too bad. But Nicole B., thank you for joining us. And I know you've got
to have vision.
Thank you for joining. That's a terrible story. That is a terrible story. Wow, that is a terrible story. What is this? Let me see.
A stunning takedown.
Wow, what is this? Let's see how stunning it is. Who? Damn. Well, I'll let y'all see this. This is crazy. Crazy insane. I don't know if y'all saw this. This is interesting.
A woman with a gun hit by a police car on purpose to disarm her and take her into custody. What police on Long Island are saying about the fallout today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Adam Cooperstein, and this eye-opening video raced across social media yesterday. A woman in Long Island seen pointing a gun at police, at drivers, and then at herself gets taken down by that police cruiser. The woman's now in the hospital, and News 4's Gabi Acevedo is live in North Belmore with new information, what police are saying about this, too. Gabi.
I don't want to hear what they got to say. Show the chick get hit. Everybody wants to see her get hit. Of course. Everybody wants to see her get hit. That's what we want to see. We want to see her get run over.
North Belmore yesterday afternoon.
She got a gun, yo.
Video shows a 33-year-old woman walking in the middle of the street waving a firearm in her right hand while traffic comes to a complete stop. Detectives say she fired the gun once in the air, and at one point you can see she puts the weapon to her head.
Could someone be on drugs? Is someone just going through a mental breakdown? You know, you don't really know.
They don't show her get hit.
He makes a crucial decision as he accelerates, hitting the woman on purpose, making.
What are we
then
doing?
Moments later, in dramatic fashion.
What are we doing? 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 What are Oh, that's kind of funny. Oh, this is kind of funny. Oh, you didn't see that coming, did you? Oh, this is kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Oh, it is kind of funny. Oh, this is kind of funny. This is kind of funny. Oh. Oh, this is definitely. She tried to duck it. Watch her try to maneuver. She tried to duck out the way. She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. She couldn't duck out the way because she was holding the gun. The moment when she knew it was too late to duck. Oh, like she was Toro. Look, look. She should have ran. She should have just took a big step away. She should have took off running. In the moment she saw when getting real became too real, keeping it real goes wrong. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, got me crying. Oh, she knew he was about to get knocked out. Oh, my goodness, that's a funny one. Oh, that is funny. That is funny. Carrie D, what is happening? Oh, my goodness. Carrie D, thank you for joining. Oh.
Got to have vision.
I don't know, y'all. This is so funny. This is so funny. I mean, it's like when keeping it real goes wrong. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot myself. But no, boom! Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. And they put that heat on her. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is my laugh of the day. She thought she could duck out the way. She couldn't duck out the way. Now this is obviously somebody. Boom. What is it? Death Race 3000 where you get points. I know y'all. Death Race death race, the original one, the most money and the way to complete the race is they had how did the old one, the 70s go? You had to hit this lady with a baby carriage. That was how you won the game. I don't know if y'all remember that one. The old original death race, 2000 and whatever it was. But you had to, I think the end of the race, you had to hit the lady in the baby carriage to win. And so this kind of reminds me of that, sort of, kind of. Oh, I know I shouldn't show debauchery. What? Okay, I didn't hear about this one. This one is, wow. Okay, let's check this one out. So I'll let this run after the commercial goes. Oh, here we go. I think Nick Taylor knows this officer personally right here, but let's see, because this is in Houston. I think he's one of Nick Taylor's friends. I'm just joking. Let's go.
Location approximately 5 minutes later, and when they arrived, they noticed and saw 2 deceased males. Officers spoke to the business owner and determined the business owner had just came from a bank in the Houston area. He returned to this location, parked his vehicle in the parking lot, got out, and began to enter the business. As he walked inside, he was hit on the back of the head by an unknown object. When he turned around, he saw 2 masked men who were wearing gloves. He immediately began to discharge a firearm. One of the employees of the business heard the commotion, came out and saw what was taking place, and that employee also began discharging a firearm. As I mentioned, there are 2 deceased suspects on the scene. There was a 3rd suspect who was in a vehicle. Once the shooting began, that 3rd suspect left the location in a black Lincoln Navigator. It's a newer model vehicle, and the license plate is believed to be Nora Sam Young 0559. Again, that's N as in Nora, S as in Sam, Y as in Young 0559. If anybody has any information about the whereabouts of that vehicle or that other 3rd suspect who may be involved in the scene, please contact our homicide division at 713-308-3600. Our homicide detectives are out here investigating this scene, and the Houston Forensic Science Center is out here collecting evidence. At this time, before I take your questions, I do want to appeal to anyone who's watching to please consider your actions, consider your decisions, because choices have consequences. Unfortunately, the suspects here, I would believe, have loved ones.
I say that is just desserts. I would say that's just desserts. They went in there and tried to rob him, hit him upside the head. He still has state of mind to fire a couple off at him. His other employee comes in and then starts firing at him too. I say that's what they get. Ha, that's Nick's bottom woman. I don't know. I mean, even she is fairly young for Brother Nick. She looks to be about 30-something, late 30s. The 3rd specimen to lay me down. I'm out of there. Oh, yeah. And you out of there with a Navigator. Come on, a vehicle. And they got his license plate. So unless it was a stolen vehicle, they on his ass. They on his ass. That's Nick's bottom one. Well, Nick is doing pretty good. He's got a young bottom one. They might show her bottom. Let's see.
Who will now be grieving their loss. But again, choices have consequences. We don't ever advocate violence or crime, but our citizens do have the right to defend themselves. And choices have consequences. Crime does not always pay. So at this point in time, I'll take any questions you may have.
Do you consider this a failed incident like we've seen previously?
Yes, we believe at this point in time, again, this is preliminary information. We believe it is possible that this is a jugging and the business owner was followed potentially from the bank to this location. Can you talk about the condition?
Wow, the audio's terrible. I can barely hear it. So jugging
exactly who the suspects are again.
Is someone following you from the bank, knowing you got money, and then trying to rob you. That's why if you go to the bank and get money, you should be armed. you should be armed and ready to lay it down. And ready to lay it down. But, okay, let's go.
And they were masked, so we don't know their identities. We do know that the two suspects that are here deceased at the scene are two black males.
Can you talk about the condition of the store owner as well as the food truck driver? I know one person was taken away in an ambulance, I believe.
So I'm not sure about the food truck driver. I don't believe he was related to this specific incident, so I don't have any information about that. But the business owner is fine. Of course, he is shaken. He is concerned. His business has been robbed in the past, so this is a traumatic experience for anyone who is involved in something like this.
There's no reason to be charged. He'll be charged, obviously, in some offense.
At this point in time, we don't know. Again, we are gathering all of the evidence. We will present the case to a grand jury, and they'll make the ultimate decision on what's going to happen. But, you know, we're just following all leads at this point in time.
Was he carrying a bag?
From what we understand, he did exit the vehicle with a bag. I don't know what was in it, but he did exit the vehicle.
Well, everybody knows that everybody down in Texas carries guns. So they were pretty stupid. They were pretty stupid. So I think she said it best. She said, sometimes crime doesn't pay. Well, I did this one. 5 charged by feds for East Bay jewelry heist. Wow. It's a bunch of these. Man shooting at Michigan State 6 months later. Oh, okay. The shooting on Michigan State's Capitol. So, yeah, I guess I got a little bit to say. I don't have really nothing to do for a while. Yeah. So, I already did my meditation. Meditating, Magbone was here. He knows what it's like when you meditate with this kind of stuff. They come in and see who's, in certain vibrations. And so that's what I was doing earlier. As I said, I played pickleball today, so I got my workout in. I know got to get some jewelry fixed, so maybe somebody might follow me. Hey, he went to the jury. Let's follow him home. Well, you won't get exactly what you're looking for if you follow me home because I'm broke. None of this stuff is real. Everything's fake. The shirt is fake. This is not fake leather. Yeah, this is leather. So I guess some of the stuff is real, but most of it is fake. Like that's a real Indian blanket back there. These are real hats. Yeah, this is not fake at all. No. So, but some stuff is fake. Trying to look around here. What is fake? Nothing really, but it could be. So don't follow me home. I only make, let me see, Doe Eyes gave me $5.50, $6. Sly gave me $20. I'm roughly at $600 this year. I am the most successful man who only made $600 this year in America. So more people should listen to me because of that. Show them how to do it. See, what you do is, the beginning of the year, you buy little Tootsie Rolls. You know what a Tootsie Roll is? They're about this big. And you get about 2,000 of them, and you just eat Tootsie Rolls all day. That's all you do, and that's how you do it. That's not how I do it, but that's how you could do it. I won't do it that way. Man, it is just, wow. One thing after another. What is this? Police acknowledge an accuracy report of deadly officer. Okay. Another one. 2 shot inside their truck during a robbery in West Houston. Man. What is this? 2 shot. I don't know who that is. Wow. What? What is this? Let me see. Let me see what this shit is here.
The latest chapter is...
Wait, what is this? Oh, okay. No, this is okay. This is something else. This is not what I thought. This is something else. Wow. What? Good question. How do fidget tools work? Well, it keeps their asses busy, instead of disrupting the class, it keeps them busy. That's how fidget tools work. That's what they found. child could pay attention while messing with something, the texture, they found some children that can, if this will keep their attention. And so let's hear about it. Y'all know how it works, but let's hear about it.
Proven to be vital for some students. How do fidget tools work and how can they help kids learn? Good question. Jeff Wagner found parents whose kids will have.
See, this is the problem I have. Because in the schools where, the future pimps go, because, pimps go have their own schools. And so when we gave out the canes, they would not let the future pimps have the canes. And we told them, when they sit there and the future pimps think that the little girls they practicing with, because I guess I said that wrong. But anyway, the people that's all practicing to be future pimps, and there has to be that other side too. But, we found out that if they had their canes, they would just tap their canes. And then their other side would know to behave better in the pimp school. But so they wouldn't let them have the canes. I just had to put that in there. So, because sometimes, you would see somebody out of pocket and you just take your cane in, and yeah, they didn't let them do that, but they let them hold these little things. So I thought that wasn't fair. All right, let's go.
Have one in their backpacks on the first day of class.
Does the school supply list look different than when we grew up?
Yes. So I have a 5th grader. She needs a stylus for her iPad.
Well, they had to get headphones to use with their school iPads.
Tech is trending as a top supply kids need these days before heading into the classroom, but so too is a tool that on first look might appear to be a toy. Is this something that your kids have used?
You guys have those on your backpacks.
Do you have one of these?
Yeah.
He's got one.
Yeah, several.
Fidget tools come in many forms. There are multifunction cubes, marbles that slide in a cloth, and poppets to push with your finger.
We use puffy slime that has beads in it for a different texture.
They're offering pencil bags that have this all around the side.
I've seen that.
Before, people were left needing to sort of jiggle their leg or tap their foot or click their pen or twirl their hair, chew gum.
Dr. Kaz Nelson is an associate professor of psychiatry and behavioral sciences. Why might someone fidget?
If an individual is having difficulty concentrating or focusing, fidgeting can actually provide the sensory input to the body to improve concentration and focus. And on the other hand, if an individual is anxious or nervous, this kind of fidgeting can actually soothe and calm the nervous system as a form of self-regulation.
Focus, concentration, and stress relief can translate to success in a classroom setting, which Priscilla Smith sees firsthand.
I'm a one-on-one SPED para, so my SPED students use them, and it keeps their hands busy, but they're also focusing. And that's how we do their verbal testing.
Dr. Nelson says just about any kid could potentially benefit from a fidget tool, but especially kids with anxiety, ADD or ADHD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and autism. This might be something adults should consider?
Absolutely.
You understand how this can be helpful?
Yes, and I do it myself. If I'm reading a story, I'm kind of tapping on them, and then I flip it over.
It's a form of self-coping and self-regulation depending on the person's needs, and none of us are immune to those kinds of needs.
Jeff Wagner, WCCO News.
As you guys watch me through the years, I'm always bothering something. I'm always like, I got crystals all around. I do have my own pimp cane though, and sometimes like even when my girl gets out of pocket, I just have to with my pimp cane. And so I think they should have allowed those in the schools. And young pimps in training will sword fight with the canes every now and then. I think that's I kept trying to tell them, don't sword fight. You got to be smooth. You just see a violation and you just pound your cane down so you don't have to sword fight with each other. But I'm the same way. I don't sit still. Even watching football, I'll stand up and watch the game for a while, sitting. Between these episodes, I'm standing up, sitting down, but you see, I'm always messing with something. So, and for me, it's a couple reasons. It's hand exercise too. That's one reason why, like, especially wearing rings like this, it helps me, like, my thumbs, like, not ache. because if I can constantly tap my hands like this, my thumbs don't ache, and it keeps my hand. So it's like I'm always doing this with one ring or the other. And so it just exercises my thumbs also. So it's a lot of different ways to do it. Well, we found, check this out. We did it. They have this kind of stuff for dogs. And what they found, what my brother-in-law found is they have the trays that look like the pop-out things where the dog has to bite the different parts to get it out. And it seemed like I don't know, it helped the dog rest longer or something. So it's like you can freeze these little treats and then you can give it to the dog, and the dog actually has to bite different parts of it to get it out. So, I needle point even when I'm watching YouTube. Oh, that's cool. I used to latch hook. I used to love latch hooking. I used to like that, the latch hook. Yeah. But needlepoint, that is real pretty. Wow. I don't know, you might have to text me, get you to do something for me that I can put in the background back there. I like that kind of needlepoint stuff. I like handmade stuff. So, I don't know, I'm gonna have to get with you to see if you can needlepoint me something that just says like Big Pontiac or something like that in a nice fabric of blue and gold. Aggie colors, of course. I'm just having fun this afternoon. That's all. I'm just having fun. Damn, what happened to them? Wow. What is
the
this?
trial of the strong.
Damn, what is this? Wow. Trial. Damn. Wow, I don't know about his fake afro makes me have to show this. Okay, I wasn't gonna show this, but this fake afro, man, this fake afro has to go. All right, I wasn't gonna show this, but this afro is so fake. I gotta show it anyway. So here we go, fake afro, here we go.
Today, Mackenzie Shirilla, who at the time was 17 years old, is accused of intentionally crashing a vehicle with her 20-year-old boyfriend, Dominic Russo, and his 19-year-old friend, Davion Flanagan, in the car. Those passengers died at the scene. Our Kaitor K joins us now with more on day 3 in court. Kaitor, what can you tell us?
Well, now this is a fake hair. Now you notice this afro is a wig. This is Hair Club. This is not his real hair. I don't care how old he is. This is all fake up here. But I just stood up. What are you talking about? Stand up. I just stood. So this is fake hair, so I just let his story go while you look at his fake hair.
Today was definitely the most emotional day of the
And let me say this, like for brothers, is triple black the only, like I was looking at Deion Sanders, is triple black the only kind of hair dye? I mean, is it like, is that the only kind of black is like triple black that you gotta dye your hair? Like my dad would always dye his hair. It is like, and I think he still dyes it today. It is like triple black. Like my hair was brown. My hair was brown. Like why would I dye my hair black? My hair used to be brown. Like you see that picture right there where I'm graceful, in the end zone going after it. My hair used to be brown. I mean, there's a picture of me somewhere, or the scrapbook's over there. But my hair was brown. So wouldn't I look silly having like I come on one day and my shit's triple black? My eyebrows triple black. This is triple black. I just trimmed my beard. My beard used to be down to here, and my beard would have been triple black. And then my mother would have looked at me like, but your hair used to be brown. Why didn't you dye it triple brown? Wouldn't that make sense? Or chestnut brown? I mean, women have all kind of hair colors. Is triple black the only hair color for men? Or for brothers? I mean, why is it when brothers dye their hair, it's triple black? I don't know. I'm just speculating. All right, here we go.
The trial so far. The prosecution played surveillance video of the crash multiple times and showed autopsy photos of the 2 victims. Defendant Mackenzie Shirilla was tearfully distraught during these moments, and the mother of one of the victims even removed herself from the courtroom. This crash happened in Northwest Strongsville in July 2022. The prosecution saying Shirilla was going 100 miles per hour when the car went off the road and collided with a building. Among the witnesses called to the stand today was the Cuyahoga County Chief Deputy Medical Examiner, who said medically they believe the cause of death for the two young men was homicide. The defense pushing back that in the chaotic moments leading up to the crash, no one truly knows what took place, nor is there proof of what happened inside the vehicle.
Whoa. Whoa. Sharilla? Her name is Sharilla, or is that her last name? Look at this. Whoa. Just poured the engine out of the car. Sharilla? Is that her last name? That's the girl that did all this?
Wow. To avoid something on the road, or someone in the car could have pulled her steering wheel. A Metro Health trauma surgeon that worked on Sharilla's medical report said Sharilla expressed fault in the crash, but the defense emphasizes that while she may have been reckless, she didn't intentionally crash the car.
Wow, look at that engine. That's the engine right there. The engine is out of the car, or these are engine components. Wow. Wow, how do you tear an engine up like that? Wow, wow.
Crashed the car.
Patient stated she opened.
So that's her last name. Okay, I got you.
Quote, wanted to die, close quote, and that it was her fault for killing her boyfriend.
You just said and read that Mackenzie said it was her fault, correct?
I did read those words.
That's what it says.
Boy, I'd hate to deal with him in court. He's all business. He's like, hey, he's ready to pounce. Let's go.
It didn't say that she purposely killed someone.
But he's a big blockhead motherfucker if you really look. He looked like he could be on a cartoon and shit. But let's go.
Someone did it.
Those words do not appear in that note.
This dude looks like Dilbert. You know that Dilbert cartoon? He looks like the live version of Dilbert. And it's like, why not cut that off? Or, you know, I mean, I guess he's not wearing a wig, but man. All right, let's go. I'm sorry, I'll get distracted.
Whatever those words were, you weren't there to hear them.
That is correct.
The trauma surgeon also cited that Sharilla told their team that she did not remember what led up to the crash. Now, though 17 years old when the incident happened, Sharilla is being tried as an adult. And the prosecution says if Sharilla is found guilty, she'll be facing 15
years. Wow. Wow. Okay, well, I'll have Nick send me some pictures of some. Yeah, I'd definitely like to see Big Pontiac in blue and gold. Yeah, maybe a little Aggie on the side or something like that. So if that's your thing, I would definitely invest. You tell me how much supplies are in your time, and I will look at my $600 I made this year, because, you know, I got some of it out there working for me. You know, I got some of it out there, you know, and invested. I've got like licorice on demand. I've got a little stock in that. Some little things, but yes, I am interested in getting something like that made. So just tell me how much and the sizes, and we can go from there. I'm at eaglesarethe bomb@gmail.com. Eagle are the bomb. That's your side hustle. Well, I love side hustles. I love side hustles. That's cool. That's beautiful too. Takes a lot of intricate work. Yeah, that's really beautiful. All right, yeah. I like that. I definitely like that. It can go back in here. Put it up there and highlight it. Blue and gold. I do like eagle green though. Eagle green. Like Timberwolf, light green and blue. So I got so many, but I think blue and gold of the Aggies is my favorite. My favorite color. Oh, look at that Sugarite working. Look at that. That's just from the Sugarite. Putting that in the water. Woo! Well, I think this 2 hours is enough for this afternoon spectacle. You know, it's not all about high vibrations and, you know, other dimensions. Sometimes it's about just regular life. And in this regular life, you just have to be the best that you can be. And I show all these stories of way that you can avoid. You should avoid some of this stuff because it's avoidable. It's like we saw a business owner, again, not paying attention to his surroundings. Like when people, they come cut the grass around here, I'm looking at all the trucks and stuff. I done took pictures of them. I'm looking at his new pictures. I'm very, I pay attention though, but I've been trained to pay attention. And so when you're in these kind of situations, you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention. Because it's a lot of people that seem not to want to have to do nothing to get a lick. To hit a lick. That seems to be in some communities, that's your come up. Your come up is that you can hit a lick. I mean, you think of that mentality, be like, hey, what's happening, Bob? What you doing today? I need to hit a lick pretty bad. Anybody ever heard that? Somebody, your friend is talking about they need to hit a lick. Remember on Corey Holcomb, that one dude that owed Corey all that money, he said, I'm trying to get a lick until my Netflix thing comes in. Remember he told Corey that? I'm trying to get this lick with Netflix. He had the nerve to say that he was trying to hit a lick with Netflix. Kind of rhymes, Nick, a lick with Netflix. But you heard people say, well, I'm just trying to hit this lick. Okay, what do you do in the meantime? That's why it was interesting when you had the vulture culture of dudes hustling, dudes trying to rob you because you selling bud or you selling cane or rocks, whatever be the case, and the dudes that would try you. And so that, they only try you once, and if you don't end up killing them, then they would never try you again. And I must dare say, the time some dudes tried to rob me, I was lucky I didn't kill the dude. And I've said this story before. It kind of saved me that I had been playing with my gun. And when I finally controlled the situation, I told my wife at the time, like, give me my gun. And I had that gun against the dude's head like this, like that. And if she wouldn't have told me not to kill him, she wouldn't have suggested it, I would have shot his brains out. That was all I thought about. I was going to grab the gun and just shoot him in the head. Seriously. I had no other thought. When I grabbed my gun and she didn't say it, it was like that thought wasn't even in my head of not doing it. And she saw, because I put my hand in the trigger and I was about to just blow his brains out, like point blank. And it was a 32. It had probably bounced around in his head for a minute. But that was going to be my retribution for them even trying it. And I mean, I could have beat it. They was like, hey, we fought for the gun. I end up shooting him in his head. You hear that? We fought for the gun, and I end up shooting him in his head. And what do you think my wife is going to say? 3 other people tried to rob me, and you killed one of them. Justifiably so. And then we have cases that are very sad. Like take Sean Taylor, and it probably was a hit. It probably was a type of sports sacrifice, Sean Taylor. 2 dudes that saw his pool, and from seeing his pool, they was there just supposed to be clean the pool, and saw his pool, and so they come back to try to rob him. And this dude didn't even have a gun. He had a spear. Remember that? Sean Taylor had a spear and threw the spear at one of the dudes. Hit one of the dudes with a spear, and then they shot him. What kind of home protection is that? That's no home protection at all. I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but I mean, most people carry guns. So, oh yeah. Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, that was one time in my life where, it was no thought. It was no thought into killing someone. I would have really just shot him in the head. Yeah, no doubt. And regretted it, regretted it. I've shot a couple people, and it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. I mean, again, people give you reasons to shoot them. That's all I can say is people will give you reasons to shoot them. And that's my situation. Somebody gave me a reason to shoot them. And that was before. Yeah, when I had to shoot somebody, that was even before this incident. So yeah. But it's still, you go through the same, it's you still feel like Carrie said, you feel violated. And it was like a little beefs going on, and it's like I could have killed the same guy twice. I had opportunity to kill this dude twice. because I could have killed him in my house, and I saw him in the street a couple days later. And I was like, we was like from cars to each other, and I had both my guns in my hand. I had walked out the house holding both of them. And so when I was going to my car, I was gonna put one gun on top of the car, and then I saw him, and so I'm holding both my guns. Like ain't nothing separate us but two cars, and I had both my guns in my hand because he didn't see them, and it was maybe just like slightly dark. So when I was sitting in my cars, he didn't see the guns until he looked through the window and he saw me holding both my guns. And so I could have killed him right there. And he did not have guns because his hands was on top of the roof, and I could have killed him there too. I could have killed him there too. But, again, somebody else probably done killed him. One of the dudes did get killed. I told this story before. One of the dudes that robbed me, I caught him a couple weeks later because it was two dudes with a gun. One dude knocked on my door and two dudes with guns. And I pushed them out the house. And then after I didn't kill dude, I let him go. And then they shot at me. But one of the dudes, I busted his head. I caught him in the supermarket. Because the way our supermarkets used to be, our grocery stores, the service, like when you come in, the service desk was right there. And so sometimes, like, I'm trying to think the way it was, because it's like you could grab a beer and then go to the service desk. So I had 3 or 4 40s at the service desk, and the little nigga walked by me and I saw him. He didn't see me because I saw him walking, whereas the service desk, my back was kind of toward him. But as he walked down the store, I caught him. I was like, oh, this little motherfucker's right here. And he walked by me, and he was like, pow! Blast that 40 on him up in the store. Just blast that bottle on him, and then kicked him a few times. And I know he's dead because he got hit by a car, and it wasn't me that hit him. But I know he's dead because he got hit by a car, and I ain't hit him. I didn't hit him. Somebody else hit his ass. But I'm so old now, I don't have to worry about that kind of thing.
Well, an item parents like.
But it does, it's just to be aware. It's just to be aware. That's all. That's the biggest thing. And we all can change, and we all can, raise our vibrations up. I was just looking at that girl getting hit by the police, the squad car again. It's kind of funny, but we all can change, and we all can try to be better versions of ourselves. That's what maturity can give you. And anyone can change. It's not, anything special about changing or being the best version of you. And living a life where you ain't even bothered. It's like I'm always super, like, having the crib locked down and everything. I'm always super about that, but it's like not really necessary. And I got insurance up the ass. I mean, so it's what you take anything, I can get it back, get it newer. Get it newer. So, that's not a big deal, but it's just the way I am. I'm always conscious of that kind of thing. So, and that's maturity. That's maturity. A lot of dudes I knew. Like when I moved to Michigan in 2006, I went to funeral after funeral after funeral. No, this was 85. Like I had been in town for 2 weeks. One of my friends growing up had got shot in the face. Yeah, got shot in the face almost point blank. Went to his funeral. We was 20. Thad got killed. I had to be still 23. 85? No, I might have been 24 by then, but I don't think so. We were 23 or 24. Thad got killed. Then, let me think, who else was it? Then my cousin got, dude, my cousin gets killed. A wrong way driver hits her on the highway. A guy driving down the highway 70 miles an hour runs head into my cousin. She was only 21 or 22. I want to say I was 3 years older than her. She had just had a baby. Baby was months old. Trying to think, it was another one too. It was like, man, it was violent. It was violent, really violent. And this was the peak of the wars. As I said, my first day being a cop was a riot between the cops It was a riot at the Father MC concert between the Detroit Dope Boys and the Kalamazoo Dope Boys. And they actually had a riot on campus. And I've talked about that many times. But that's what you saw. You know, you saw a lot of these dudes from Detroit try to spread out. Especially it was a dude named Pac-Man, part of the Collins brothers, them. And, you know, he ended up dead. The guy who killed Strawberry is who killed my friend Thad. That's what his name was. His name was Strawberry. Paper tried to come back and say it wasn't him, but it was. Strawberry killed Thad. Then, I'm not really related to this dude, but this dude's father married one of my cousins. And so I grew up with this Big Mike, and Big Mike, they tried to get him. Kalamazoo came after him for some keys. He beat the case. All on TV celebrating, the paper showing him celebrate. Week later, they say his girl killed him because he was beating her. And then she was seen coming out with bags full of money. But he beats the police case, and not a week later, his wife shoots him because of domestic assault. So I had to go to his funeral because his father was kind of in the family. Plus, I knew him since we was little boys. So it was like really dangerous. Like even Detroit, where Nick grew up. I had friends, you know, dude got hit, was like, again, you know, not being self-aware. He got hit at a car wash. Shot 7-8 times and lived. He's like the 50 Cent story. Michael Whitaker. It's funny. Mike, in the semi-pro summer league, Mike set the record for 11. I hit 9. He broke, well, I think it was the same game. I hit 9. He hit 11 threes. And then a couple months later, he got shot 9-10 times and lived. So he's a high school basketball coach now in Battle Creek. You know, he turned his life around. So, yep. But yeah, Mike got shot about 10 times. Yeah, Mike lived though. He lived. He limps around now. And he never played basketball again because he went to college. This guy, matter of fact, was he out on college? He might have played his 4 years by then. He played college ball. Yeah, Mike played college ball. So he might have been like, when he started hustling, it might have been like he had played his college ball and came home. I don't know. But yeah, it was a lot of violence. But Mike got shot up. Yeah, it was a lot of that back then. Burying young dudes. And it ain't never went away. Still burying young dudes. I told this story before. The first dead dude I saw, I was in 3rd grade and living with my father. And so he took me, well, there was a family, like I started going to a different school, but it was walking, wasn't no buses. This is in the early 70s where there wasn't no buses. This is 68, 69. The busing didn't come in until my 4th grade year, which was probably Ali Frazier. So maybe 71, 72, or was that, yeah, 71. So that was volunteer busing. So 71 was volunteer busing. So yeah, the year before. So yeah, when I was in 3rd grade, it wasn't busing. You walked. You know, black children went to the black neighborhood schools. It was no busing. And so I had just moved over there with my dad. So I was going to eventually have to walk. But what he did is he took me off to some neighbor's house. And before school and after school, you know, I would go with them and I would walk with their children. Well, one time we got out of school before I was supposed to go home. Again, I'm in 3rd grade, so I'm 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. He took us to a funeral home. And we saw this dude. I could still remember what he looks like. Young, very curly hair, curly mustache, but young. Like not teenage young, but like probably less than 30 young. And this was in 68 or 69. Maybe 69. So this dude died 50-some years ago. He died young. He was a little browner than me, but that was the first time no, it wasn't. I take that back. The first time I saw a dead body was my uncle's wife's mother. Yeah, so yeah, because they had back days they buried her themselves. They cleaned her up, they buried her. They didn't take her to anybody. We went to the house when she died. and the whole family went there. So they had it at the house. So maybe that was the first time I saw a dead body, was her, because she was still in the house. She got buried on local property. I just wonder. We have a family plot in Michigan where my great great grandmother, who was Sapani, like Dicey Heathcock, where she's buried, and where her son George Washington Ampey is buried, and my cousin I was just telling you about, and my great grandfather. They're buried on family land in Otsego, Michigan. Kelly's born there. Kelly is my cousin that the car came the wrong way and killed her in the early 20s. She's buried out there, and there's a picture of her, but it's pictures of people born, in the early 1800s down that plot. So I wonder what it would take for me to be buried there. I don't know, because the property, I'm pretty sure, comes from my great great grandfather's brother, my great great uncle. I'm pretty sure that was part of his farm. But that's where my great great grandparents, my grandmother's not buried there. She's not buried there, and I don't know why. None of my great grandfather's children were buried there. My great uncle was buried in Louisiana, and I think my great aunt is buried in D.C. My grandmother's buried in Kalamazoo, or my grandmother's urn is in Kalamazoo. So, but like life can be hard. Like now this is in 06 when my daughter was born. The year my daughter was born, my grandmother died, my aunt died, my uncle died, like my dad, brother, my uncle died, and my grandfather. Yeah, so my father's mother died. No, first my uncle died. Then my father's mother died. My grandfather, my mother's father, and then my grandmother had died. And my aunt. So my grandmother, my aunt, my grandmother, my aunt, uncle, grandfather. Yeah, so my mother's father died, my father's mother died, my mother's sister died, my father's brother died, all in 6 months. 6 months of my daughter being born, all those people in my family died at one time. And so, when do you recover from something like that? It's just back to back to back to back to back. I remember I kissed my aunt. And yeah, don't kiss dead people like that. They done put all that plaster on them and stuff. I copied my cousin. My cousin kissed her, and so I kissed her. Yeah, don't kiss. They got that stuff on them. It's like kissing a doll. It's like, oh, not supposed to do that. But how do you recover from something like that that's back to back to back to back to back to back to back like that? But you have to, like we used to have a thing that said you have to fight even though you want to cry. And I thought that was perfect for football, because that's life. Even though somebody's kicking you in your ass, you still got to do your best. There's still people could be dependent on you. You get knocked down, you just get back up and try again. Next time, try to, soften the blow or protect the blow or go on attack. A lot of different ways. That's the way it always goes. It all starts with a gentle sadness. Oh, yeah, it definitely takes a toll on you. And I was younger. And, it's like I had still my boys. My boys were younger. Brennan was 11. The little boys was 3 and 4. My oldest son was probably 14, 15. And I had another son, 8 or 9, and then the little boys and a brand new daughter. So I'm going through this, I'm going through this because, like, I remember Devin must have been 2. He must have been 2 because I had to hold him at my aunt's thing. I had to hold him because he wouldn't sit there. So I took him from his mother, and, I'm back and forth with him, turning him around, and I'm stronger than him, so he could just sit there. And he's like, ah. He'd look at me, ah. You just sit there. So I still got all that going around. So, what time did I have to really grieve? You understand? It was no time to grieve. I still, I think when they had my grandfather's, I didn't even go. I didn't get to go because I had to work. And it was like I couldn't miss any checks. I had to work, so I couldn't even go to his thing. I just went to, I saw him where, a couple of days before he died, I saw him. Because my grandfather was interesting. He had cancer for probably 20 years, and they didn't even know it. because well, he smoked cigarettes for one, but they always said his X-rays of his lungs was because he had worked in a concrete factory. He had built his own his basement of the first home. When he built a home, he built the basement himself. He built most of the home out of blocks, big blocks, cinder blocks, the big old blocks. That's what he worked with. So they always said that his X-rays showed that. And plus, he had been in World War II. He was in the Navy. And he went pretty quick. Once, he said he couldn't taste nothing. And here I talk about this, and this is what was done to my aunt. Check this out. Check this out. This is what was done to my aunt by her husband. And I probably mentioned this before, but I'm talking about my family. My aunt went to sleep for 7 days. And her husband never took her to the hospital one time. 7 days before he did anything, she woke up and she was different and they had to take her to the... So we're thinking that she probably had a stroke and it was undiagnosed. That's what it appears like. And I have to say, saying all this dude's character, and I ain't saying no lie, alcoholic, working alcoholic. I mean, from a family of alcoholics. All the brothers were alcoholic. All of them. The oldest one wasn't, but the rest of them was all alcoholics. So maybe that had, a thing in judgment. My girl, I'm looking at my girl, and if I look at her, I was looking at her, this is a true story. I was looking at her last week and was wondering, I'm like, is she over there breathing? I'm looking at her, I'm like, are you over there breathing? I was sitting on because we have a section where I can't sit on. It's too low. I can't even lay on the damn thing. It's so low. Like if I even lay down on it, having to get up, it kind of irritates my back. So she usually sits on that. I sit in the chair. So I was sitting in the chair. She had fell asleep, and I'm looking at her, and I was like, "Are you breathing?" Or whatever. Like smacked her in the face. She's like, "What are you smacking me for?" I was like, "Oh, I couldn't see if you was breathing." Nah, I didn't do nothing. I could see. But it's like that's how I think. I care about her, so I'm looking to see. And so I don't know, what kind of person that could do that. That could just, not take them immediately. Like the first day, 24 hours, I'm taking you. Maybe even if if I go to work and you sleep when I come back, I'm taking you to the hospital. If I see you never woke up, I'm calling the ambulance, come get her. She never woke up. And if they can't wake her up, definitely did. Now, my uncle had multiple sclerosis, and he had the worst kind where it got worse and worse and worse and worse over the years. Got worse and worse. And sadly, probably despite being married to a nurse, he was probably tortured a little bit. And I don't mean tortured by doing things to him. I mean tortured by not providing services for him. Because he wasn't being taken care of by his wife enough. And every time she would get reported, she would fire the nurse. Yet she married him, knowing, he was, by the time she met him, my uncle was the first dude I ever heard of. He told me about Viagra. He had multiple sclerosis, and they gave him Viagra, and he said it worked. I was like, how do you like it? How'd you like it? He's like, well, I think his girlfriend was named Martha. I can still picture Martha's face. She was cute. He's like, well, Martha really liked it. He's like, I couldn't get nothing out of it, but she liked it. Well, okay. But he had multiple sclerosis, and every year he went from limping, walker, canes, 2 canes, to walker, to a wheelchair. And you know how they said a lot of people got multiple sclerosis? And I told this story before. A girl I dated briefly, she ended up being my ex-wife's roommate, college roommate. She had multiple sclerosis, and they took out mercury. Like I don't think my uncle, maybe they did take out the mercury fillings later, but and this is something. Oh, this is if you might not want to hear this. This is a real thing of my uncle. My uncle got circumcised as a man. Oh, whoa. I don't know how he did it. But he got circumcised as a man. I don't know why he did it, but he did. I remember that. He said that was the worst pain he ever had. He got circumcised as a man. Woo! It's like, you're a tougher guy than me, dude. And I never asked him why. And my uncle was the funniest cat. My uncle had a book of nigger jokes. He could rattle off nigger jokes. Like, I would sit there literally just be crying because he would just rattle off nigger jokes like this. He had a book of 1,000 nigger jokes, and he would just be constantly rattling them off. And he always told me this, despite him saying the Viagra story, but he would always say, I'd go see him. I'd see the cat like every other day, and he'd tell me the same story. Boy, you know what I'd be doing if you wasn't in that wheelchair? I wasn't in this wheelchair. I'm like, yes, uncle, you'd be going to get some pussy somewhere. He's like, that's right. I'm like, you could still get some in the wheelchair. But that was him. Every time I would go see him, that's the first thing. He's like, boy, you know, if I wasn't in this wheelchair, the pussy I'd be getting. I'm like, you could still get some in the wheelchair, uncle, but he was funny. But at the end of his life, couldn't even feed himself. Interesting, I have a cousin, my aunt's son, his brother called me, and their sister, I guess, went on dialysis, but my cousin had, check this out, my cousin flew to Egypt. What is it, 25, 30 hours on the air? Quit taking his diabetes medicine, quit taking his heart medicine, and did all that traveling. And then within a week or two of coming back, stroke that's like, he can't feed himself. He called me the other day. I talked to him. His brother called me. It was good talking to his brother. But, we talked, but, he really, like I could see one thing he said was, how you doing? I could see that. He was like, well, how you doing? So, it was some basic, how people talk. So he can still hear and stuff. I guess he can read. He just can't talk. He can't feed himself. I don't think he can walk. And he's only 64. And then he's had two brothers that pass. One had a lung disease. Like he didn't actually have emphysema. Yeah, he smoked cigarettes, but he didn't actually have emphysema. He had some type of lung disease he had acquired. And actually he was up for a lung transplant. And he didn't really, want to live anymore. So he quit taking his medicine. And his brother, and this one was real shaky, he died getting his hip replaced. He falls in his house, breaks his hip. They take him to the hospital, put the hip replacement on him, and he never wakes up. And he was 60, about my age, 62, I think, maybe 61 when that happened to him. And so you see why, I emphasize being in shape and eating the right thing. Because my mother seems a little different than my aunt. And so far, my family, my mother takes high blood pressure, so does medicine, and so does my son. I don't really know about my father. I don't talk to him enough to know. So it's like I have to do something that they ain't all did, if you understand. I have to do something mentally, physically, eating better, spiritually. I have to do something that they didn't do. Like the other day, I was talking about the difference, like my aunt and my father both suffering from dementia, like my grandmother did. Because my grandma, if I didn't mention that, my grandmother died of dementia in her early 60s, like she was 67, 68. Now, my aunt and my father are both in 80 years old. She's fully, in a facility. My father's getting that way. Next year, he probably will be. And so that's why I stress working out. Because my background of working out, my father was in martial arts, but that was about it. I think he did martial arts till he's about 34 and 35. And once my sister was born, he didn't do it anymore. So that's why that is important to me. And that's why I try to make other folks to see what's important to you. This health thing is, now I'm not scared to death. I'm the first one that says that death does not scare me. But dementia does. Because they take away the memories. And the memories are golden. I remember more than most. Any age, I remember stuff. I think I remember being probably 8 or 9 months old. think that's when I came into this reality, or when I came into realization of being a person. And then I remember when the dog knocked me down. I was only 2 years old. My grandfather killed the dog. The dog knocked me down. I went up to the dog knocked me down. They killed it. Like they were supposed to. Dog had no right knocking me down. But anyway, I would hate to have all that taken away. And as I said before, I show Motivite. I wear a big piece of Motivite. I don't sell Motivite. Matter of fact, I went into my crystal guy I get my crystals from, and I wondered if they had been robbed because they literally didn't have any Motivite at all. And that's unlike that place. I've never been there where and I've been going to this shop 7-8 years, and they didn't have any Motivite. But this stuff, this might be the only thing between you and, forgetting this stuff. And it doesn't matter how big, all you got to do is make sure it's real. But this stuff, I think, helps with memory. Like I said, I don't sell it. So I ain't saying I don't make any money from saying this. But I'll tell you what's cool, too. I'm changing up, I'll tell you what's cool. Playing pickleball and hearing these chains rattle, I love that shit. I love that shit. When I'm moving and I'm hearing this shit rattle around, I love that shit. I really do. I love to hear the chains moving when I'm moving. I don't know. I love hearing that. I just love the chain, how it moves. I just love that. I love to hear the chain chink, chink, chink and moving across my neck. I just really love that feeling. When the chain is moving all around me because I'm moving, I don't know. That just, I don't know. I love that feeling. And it's like little moments like that make you just love and look at life, because that's something that most people wouldn't even recognize. You wearing something that's moving around you, and the sensation and how it's moving as you're moving and strategizing. And so I just, today, I was like, man, I was just listening to it. I was like, I really love that. That is just something I take inside of me that I do really love. I think that's kind of cool. So, well, I done talked long enough on this afternoon, 2.5 hours. I thank you, everyone. Carrie, yeah, we got to get together and just something simple like Big Pontiac, not very big, but, let me know how much something like that would cost me. And you don't have anything against A&T, do you? Because I want it blue and gold. I get old people when they talk about black colleges, and it's any black college but A&T. A&T is the best black college. It's the biggest black college. It's bigger than Howard. We're in Division I football. We're in Division I basketball. A&T has got about 20,000 folks. So why would you go to, like, Jackson State? Don't even compare to A&T. It doesn't even compare. Grambling, none of them compare. Like where Jerry Rice played, like the odds for me, well, I'll say this. The odds should have been better for me to make pro than Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice ran a different offense. He ran a different offense where he caught the ball and he played with one of the best black quarterbacks of all time in Willie Toten. So, but facility-wise, I played in way better facilities than Jerry Rice did in college. Way better. I mean, 1,000 times better than what Jerry Rice had to go through. Like what he went through. Like I played down in Mississippi Valley. I'm telling you, when I went down to Mississippi Valley and played in 80, I think we played in 80. When we beat them down there, that shit looked like a high school. Their field was a high school field. We walked around campus. That shit wasn't shit compared to where I went. I mean, it was like nothing there. The people was wearing clothes from the disco era. There's a lot of butterfly collars. This is no cap. I know Lorenzo might say it's cap. It was not cap. These people looked like, they thought we was from GQ because when we traveled, we wore suits. These people was still wearing like leisure suits and shit. And like, who wears the leisure suit to a football game? But we saw leisure suit walking niggas around campus. We was like, okay, so these leisure suits was in the 70s. We're all just regular business, trade down or just a regular suit. They like, oh, y'all GQ. Y'all come on campus GQ. Lorenzo, when you hear this is a fact. They was amazed. And it seemed like we went back in time. they were still like the big Afro dudes and stuff. It seemed like we went back in time when we played in Mississippi in 1980. I ain't saying none of the racist stuff, but I'm just saying the culture of the melanated people was a little bit to be desired. The styles are like they got the last. It was like they was in the last line to get the styles. It was like they had just got disco, so they was wearing their disco clothes to the game and around campus. This is no cap. Ah. Well, thank you, Carrie, and thank you everyone for listening to me. All this is thought provoking. I hope a little bit because again, you can't just harp on spirituality all the time. It gets old, and it's more than spirituality to life. It's just life, and it's any kind of wisdom of an elder to give just any positive or ways that you can function or that might work for you. That's what it is. Nothing more, nothing less. Um, And as you know, I give freely because that's just how it is. And so, thank you guys. I think I'm a. You know what though? Maybe I just need a little. Maybe I just need a little motivation. Maybe I just need a little motivation. Here's a little motivation.
Lean and back, lean back, lean back.
What?
Lean and back, lean back, lean back.
I think if I hear it one more time, I might go a little longer.
Lean and back, lean back, lean.
No, I'm just lying. I just wanted to play Lean and Bop. Who is this?
Like I said, you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
And that comes from Ancestral Productions Online. If you want to hear more of his work, I've showed some of his work. That's Ancestral Productions Online. It's a good brother. And he gives about every weekend. I don't think he came this week, but he gives something every weekend. That's the brother I dig. It is, there's a bunch of people I dig and that, those that, I go back with Sly since 17. We started doing this stuff since 17. So, I'm always, if I don't say nothing, I'm always listening to Sly stuff. Watch him on my TVs. Up there, I throw him on. If it ain't no game, if it's not a game on, I throw him up on the TV instead of burning my phone up. But I am gonna go. Thank you so much for coming this afternoon. I appreciate it. Oh yes, tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm just going to film. I don't know if I'm gonna go live tomorrow, but I'm going to film from the Mall of America because the powwow in the atrium at the Mall of America before the powwow this weekend, they are going to be having the drums and the singers out there. And I've told the coolest story a few years ago when I saw they was out there. I saw a little girl mimicking all the dancers. And I mean, she was just killing it. So I imagine she's one of the dancers. But so I'll film that. I'm not proud. The Mall of America, maybe I might go live out there to show that because the internet is okay out there. I'm not gonna make the mistake because I'm going to the powwow on Friday night, and I'm not gonna make the mistake of trying to go out there and go live at the powwow because the internet is messed up on phones. You take your phones out to the reservations. The phones, I don't know. It's like I tried to play music at the pickleball park a couple years ago, and the phones don't do right. Last year I tried to go live out there. You don't have a good internet. At least where the powwow is. So I don't know, but I'm going to the powwow for sure. Friday night I'll show, but I'll show that tomorrow, and then I'll show from the powwow Friday, and then I'm going to North Dakota on Saturday. I'm going up there. I really shouldn't tell you this. Well, I'm going up there to take my nephew, but I'm a super secret super, and then I'm going up there to look for gold. So I talked to somebody on the phone. I said, "Hey, is gold around you?" He said, "It might be. You can come up here and look for it." So I'm going out there to do that. I'm going to look for some gold. I'm not going to tell you how I'm looking for gold, other than a metal detector, beep 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 beep. Metal detector around and stuff. But that's where I'm going to be. So. Yes. So enjoy the rest of your day. Here it's going on 4:30 something. All right. Yep, 4:37 my time. Out in Colorado, it is 3:30. California is 2:30. Out west is 5:30. So wherever you are, I know Brother Sean is down in New Zealand, and I know in New Zealand it is probably 6, 7 o'clock at night, and he says it's winter time and wet and stuff down there, which does not sound cool at all. So I'm glad it's hot. See that sun coming from that way? I want some of that sun and plenty of it. Sun makes you feel good. You just stay in the sun, it turns your colors. It makes you feel gold. Turns you gold like me. You know, I'm living my life like I'm gold, and the sun makes me gold, baby, gold. Like you look at a couple months ago where I wasn't gold, and now I'm gold. Like you can't even see this thing in my hand. Look how it looks the same. Look at that. It looks the same. You see that? How you can just see that gold skin inside that gold crystal? So try to get some of that sun. Try to make your heart pump, 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 pump me up. All right, this has been this has been the Big Eagle Hour. This is not even a show. This is an hour. Big Eagle Hour from your host, Big Pontiac, on the sacred land of Big Eagle, or as they call him, Black Dog. I give him a little more respect than call him Big Eagle, but he's also known as Black Dog. This is his hill, his holy land, his holy lakes. And for some reason, they don't mind me being up here, and they give me plenty of energy. So until we meet again, say less. Oh, you know, I do have one more thing to say. Oh, look at Brennan. Look at Brennan. Look at Brennan. Look at how pretty babies I make. I make pretty babies, pretty babies. Look at him, just a cute little smile. I know you just want to kiss his little cheek. He's a big old dude now. He's a big old buff dude now. He likes lifting and shit. Won't play pickleball with me, but he likes lifting. Till we meet again, I'm having fun.